isn't just toxic white males. It's toxic femininity brought to you by Midnight's Edge. Greetings, everybody in YouTube land. It's time to let the ladies loose. That's right. Fly. Not
let the ladies let them loose. Woo!
Yeah, that's to be like, you know what that implies when you say "let the ladies loose."
I
and
think he does.
When you say that,
I think that's
being a bit
the
double
point.
entendre-ish, if that's how you say it.
I thought we were locked in a basement.
He likes the double, you know, no matter what size, the doubles.
He does that crap on purpose.
I have seen the top of the mountain.
We love you, Tom.
And I love my ladies. Let's get going here before we get started. Of course, I got to introduce all the fine ladies here. We got Mandy down on the corner there. How you doing?
Like what? Hey, y'all. So, yes, we have so much good stuff to talk to y'all about tonight. It is going to be so good. I swear. It's going to be good. So, yeah.
You're making promises you better live up to.
No.
No pressure.
No pressure at all.
We got this tonight. We got it.
And next to her there, we have Laura, OG Star Wars gal. How you doing?
I am doing great, and I'm happy to be back. And hello, everyone, you guys. Yes, OG Star Wars Legends girl.
Yes.
There you go.
Yes.
We miss you so much.
Oh,
Lord, you can't leave me alone here with all.
You're lucky I remember your name. You've been gone so long.
I know. I'm too fabulous to be forgotten.
My cat's gone for like 10 minutes. I forget his damn name.
I think you need to go get that checked.
I was just about to say it.
Yeah. No, I just make it easy. I call him asshole. That's why his name is asshole.
Yeah.
No, he never really had a name that stuck, and it was one of those things. Whenever he's good and being a good kitty, he's good kitty. But when he's being a bad kitty, he's asshole.
So is he asshole all the time then?
About 50% of the time.
Okay.
He's bipolar.
If it's
yes.
a cat, then it really should be more like 60-40.
It probably is, but I'm giving him a curve.
Okay.
Because if it was a dog, it'd be like 90%. Yeah. But anyway, Mary Mayhem is another one we have with us. Say hello.
I'm here. I'm so excited. Oh my God, guys. You don't even know. Like, I'm so excited right now. I'm in the midst of all of the bad and terrible and horrible. And my God, where's the Tylenol? This is there's reasonably good news tonight. I'm so excited.
Well, hopefully you feel better as we get rolling here.
Yes.
But yes, no, it's true. My cat has like 50-50 personality. That's the perfect way to put it. Because he'll come up and he's like, I'm going to attack your hand. But then you start petting him. He's like, that feels good. But I want to attack your hand. That feels good. But I want to attack your hand.
That's how cats are, though. Like, cats, like, they'll be chilling out on a chair, sleeping, no big deal. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, they're like, what?
Kill it.
Mine just attack each other. Just like, yeah, you're up. I'm going to attack you, jump on you, and roll over just to be a pain in the ass. That's
when the other did something to him in their dreams. So they got to wake up and kick their ass for it.
That's what it is.
You stole my shit in my dream, you motherfucker. I'm a cat. I don't understand the difference.
I seen you was asleep, so it's real.
You was sleeping too. I saw you.
I kill you.
I kill you.
Yeah, I haven't heard that in a while. I kill you.
And last but not least, Miss Lorena Creole. How you doing?
I am doing quite well, Tom. Glad to be here with our chat, all you ladies, because I'm going to be throwing some serious spice and salt. I had to, knock back a little bit of wine because it's going down tonight.
I'm not even mad at you, girl. I'm not even mad at you. God help. Is that a mason jar, by the way?
Yes, girl, it is.
Like, just get a giant ass mason jar full of wine.
There you go.
No shade in my game.
Nope.
Shoot.
I'm not even mad at you. All I was wondering was where the hell you found that. And please send me the link. all for that.
All right. Well, we got a guest coming in here in a little bit to talk with you ladies. Yes, we do. You know him, but you also love him, so don't worry. And it's not Cecil.
Damn it.
I know. I was hoping. Hello. Finally, I can be myself.
Is he still sober?
You know, I don't know. No, usually that's just January.
Is it just
Yeah,
January?
I don't think he is.
Okay, I was gonna say.
Well, I know he wasn't feeling too hot, but
Yeah.
I feel like he was sober for way too long this time.
well, I think it's because he got sick for a while, so I think it did extend a little. But I think hopefully he's feeling better. Last time I talked to him, he was. But speaking of feeling better, you know what makes me feel better, ladies? Super chats. And we've got a handful of them, so if you want to grab those, we can get into the festivities.
Christopher Talk for $2 says early night, just leaving support. Thank you so much. We appreciate that, Christopher Talk. Trust me, any support you guys throw our way, we definitely appreciate. So
Yes.
thank you. Even if it is an early night, make sure you catch the replay, which will be over on Midnight's Edge Live, right? Afterwards.
Yes, it will. And Rich is right. Cats are totally indifferent. They just want some kind of reaction. Because you can sit there and you can act all excited to a cat and be like, "Oh my god, I love you," or like, "Motherfucker, get down!" And they have the same fucking reaction.
Yeah, they give me that look.
Same exact reaction. They're just like, "Are you talking to me?"
Yeah, they don't
care.
have the sweetness of a possum.
They're just like,
Of a
"Yeah,
possum.
I really don't care."
Unless you smell like food, I don't care.
Wait, food? I heard a can. Somebody said something that sounded like supper.
Wow.
That's my cat. You say anything? Yeah, he's probably in here now. Just say, look around. Where is he? Yeah, his head probably perked up when I said it. Oh, I love cats. We also got a couple more super chats, though. Go ahead.
Okay. Trace XL for $5. Good evening, Mary, Mandy, Alora, Lorena, and Tom. Let's do this.
Yes.
Leroy Jenkins.
Should I even be able to laugh at that? I don't know.
Yes.
Yes, it's fine.
That's
Please.
fine. But how do you not know what Leroy Jenkins is?
I don't know if I should laugh at anything anymore. I'm going to get called racist.
Well, Tom,
Wow.
I'll give you a pass. You can laugh at that.
Good. I've got like 5 cards to back me up here.
There you go.
Like, I got a black card. I got a women card. I got a Hispanic card. I don't know how I got a Korean card in here, but
What?
yeah, it just showed. Maybe it was a 2-for-1 discount. I don't know. Yeah, I got a few.
Okay.
I mean, we can even mail you a Whammon card, considering
I got one, but I could always use more.
Okay.
Maybe
I
he'll come and drag on the stream one day.
You ladies have no idea how many ladies cards you guys have given me.
I feel like
And not even personally. No. I'm not kidding. Like I'd share them, but I know a lot of these women don't want me to. But even other YouTubers have come up to me and they've thanked me for this show. And I'm like, don't thank me. Thank these ladies. These are the ones that put themselves out there every day. And they're the ones that come here and they're just like, no. But you're the one who gives them this, big platform to be able to, rise above and scream out there and tell everybody how they feel. And it feels refreshing to have a voice out there that's like mine. So, I mean, it does matter to people to be, represented.
Well,
So-
look, I don't think anybody would here deny that representation is a nice thing, quote unquote, to have.
Absolutely
But
not.
I think people put a little too much stock in it.
Yes.
Is what's going on these
When we
days.
get Mayor Ray Sue, that's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, that happened.
Okay.
Anyway.
All right. So Mr. Tickle Trunk, Canadian $2. Thank you so much for joining us. So he sends a Shiba dog super sticker. So it's shaking with some hearts. So a little Shiba dog with hearts. Thank you so much.
It's a heart pooping.
It's farting hearts.
Barton Hart.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, that's what it is.
I bet they smell like sweet tarts. You know when you open up a bag of sweet tarts and that smell? That's what they smell like.
They smell.
They smell good. They smell sweet and tarty.
Hearts
So
smell like
would it
hearts.
be a sweet fart?
Oh shit.
Yeah. why
Yeah.
not?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'll allow it.
My
I think we've all voted.
my stomach quite recovered yet.
Well, I'll vote for you. Yes.
Very.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Valiant Renegade for $2. And thank you so much. Love my Monday films. Oh, well, we love you too.
Yeah. And check out Valiant Renegade's channel as well. It's starting getting going on YouTube stuff. Yeah, good stuff.
Holy
Awesome.
Toledo, you guys are blowing the chat up right now. I'm looking
Wow.
at that. Alrighty, well. Thank you so much, Cesario JPM, for $5. It's remembering Uncle Owen and Aunt Beru on hashtag National Toast Day, which was last week, Thursday.
That's bad.
That is like one of my favorite.
Burn. That's a burn.
Oh,
Burn.
too soon. Too soon.
I'm not saying. I'm just saying.
Looks like I can't leave. I got shit to do. All my fucking uncle and aunt are toast. Shit. When do we leave?
Thought you had to,
So bad.
to get out and clean up them freaking moisture farms. Now no amount of moisture.
The moisture evaporators? Yeah.
Moisture evaporators. No amount of moisture is gonna fix this one.
No,
no.
too late now.
Mm-mm.
I don't even think moisturizer would do it.
All right, let's get some of these super chats.
Yes,
in here
because
so
we're
we
getting
get-
quite a few coming in
We
here now.
have Marcos A for $4.99. Thank you so very much. Toxic Femininity. Love the show, ladies. Hi, Tom. Great to have OG Star Wars back on the panel again. Awesome.
Yay.
Yes, we missed OG.
Thank you.
Missed OG.
All right. So Fat Steven Seagal at Canadian $2. Can I get a hey Steven from the ladies and Tom?
Hey, Steven.
Hey, Steve.
Steven.
Hey, Steven.
Hey, assistant.
Hey, little bitch ink.
Wow. Okay.
Let's see. Stephen Otten for $5. Thank you so much. Hail Toxic Femme, Tom, and everyone in the chat. Hail, hun.
Hello. I'll use my credit card. I don't know why I felt like saying that. I have no idea why I felt like saying
That
that.
was really random. and bizarre.
Hello, I'm Mr. Burns. I'm here to pick up my mail. What's your first name, Mr. Burns? I don't know.
Where
That's
were
what
we
it
on?
reminded me of. I don't know why. We already got that.
Jesus, Fat Steven. That is disgusting looking. Why?
I don't want to know.
The undergut. I've never seen the undergut depicted that way.
I've had to look at that recording streams with
Did we get this
Wow.
one from Stephen Otten here?
I think is that
Yeah,
me?
I just read that one.
Okay, I just want to make sure we're caught up there on the screen. And
Okay.
then...
So Christopher talked for $2. Did Amber Turd pick up Gomer's pile?
Oh, surprise! 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 Ew.
Nasty.
We're going straight to hell for that one.
So for Joseph Bienowitz, hopefully I said that right, $9.99. Thank you very much. A super sticker. Sunglasses perpetually fall onto video game controllers. Proud face.
Yes,
Thank you.
it's a super sticker. Thank you so much. And then Pinhead.
All right. Pinhead at
Woo.
$50. Thank you so much for joining us and for that lovely super chat.
Yes.
Thank you. We are so blessed with that. So hail to the lovely ladies in the panel and Tom, I guess. Happy face.
Oh,
Aw.
well, thank you, Pinhead,
Wow.
for that. I wish you so much suffering. All right. Matthew Sturgis, holy shitoli.
Wow.
Wow.
Holy crap.
Wow.
Wow.
I like
Jeez
mine better. Holy
Louise.
shitoli. I'm going to make that a thing.
You
You.
should. That can be your catchphrase.
Holy shitoli.
Shatoli.
Wow.
Jeez
I think
Louise.
Mandy, it sounds better when Mandy says it though.
Yeah, it does. Everything sounds better when Mandy says it, though.
Aw.
Mhm.
Oh my goodness, Matthew Sturgis, $99.99. Wow. Thank you so freaking much. I've sold my house in Minneapolis and I'm free. Here's a big thanks to you ladies and Tom for helping me through the past year and what fresh heck awaits us going forward. Keep kicking ass. Also, Wart the Wizard is back. Oh,
Yes.
thank you, Matthew.
Yes, don't forget to back Wart the Wizard. And yes, hopefully you find a new place to live outside of Minnesota. I fucking hate that state.
Really?
I'm glad I can't go there.
Minnesota's not a state, is it?
No, it's like southern Canada. That's how lame it is.
Oh, damn.
Come to the South. It's warm here.
My plan eventually, I plan to be living it up in Vegas one of these days.
Shit.
I can see you in Vegas.
I totally fit in there.
You would. You could get a rascal and then you like just rascal. Not that
Hells
you need
yeah.
one, but if you're in Vegas, you have to have one. That's like a thing.
No, you just said it. It's done.
Does Minnesota even count as a state though? Like
No, that's what I'm saying. It's like
there?
it's
Baja,
like South Canada.
right? Baja, Canada.
It's
Holy shit balls.
from the month of November till the month of March, it's nothing but like 6 feet of ice on the ground. Like shit you not. And they have some of the worst roads everywhere. So like it is hell to drive up there. And yeah. I got a ticket up there for having no insurance because at the time you didn't have to have insurance where I was from. And they gave me such a hassle about it. And I had this big ticket for it. So I'm like, you know what? Guess what? I'm never coming back to Minnesota. But every time I get my license renewed, they remind me that I can't drive in Minnesota. It's like, guess what? I ain't going back.
We will literally never get to the
No, if I keep talking, we're never going to get through this. So. But that's okay. That's what I'm here for.
Let's hear. So is this the next one here, Tom, for Wyatt Holiday?
I believe so. If I didn't get it in the private chat, yes.
Wyatt Holiday for $4.99. Some love for the Toxic Ladies and Toxic Tom. Is that what we're calling you now? Toxic Tom?
That sounds nice.
I don't care.
Toxic Tom. Yeah,
I like
Sounds
that.
good.
Yeah, that's
It
good.
goes with the overall theme, I think.
I
Sounds
think
like a
that's what you
superhero.
called them last week when you were threatening to poison them.
Which we have on tape, by the way. And my lawyer wants to
Rob,
talk to you.
Rob brought that up when I was filling him in on the hamburger and
Oh my
stuff. He was like,
God.
so I don't remember exactly what he said, but he was like, whenever you're going to poison Tom, and I was like, I already had the arsenic ready.
For fuck's sake, you don't even have to go to that goddamn length. Just give me some laxatives or something, woman. God. You're like talking like, well, we gotta make sure you got it just enough to where you don't die, but he's a good pal. Fuck, lady. God, all you
like
gotta
a
do
Dumb
is
and Dumber clutch in the toilet.
exactly. I'd rather do it like fuck. She's thought this shit way too far through. Remind me never to get close to you.
Oh my God.
And if you send me any food, I'm just going to tell you it's getting tossed right in the fucking trash.
I could like switch it to Lysol in your soup if that's better. I don't know.
No, god damn, woman. What the fuck is this? The Sixth
Oh
Sense?
my God.
Jesus.
She said she's gonna Lysol your soup.
Yes. She's making it worse.
Well, at least you won't have to worry about bacteria when you eat it.
Oh my
You're
god.
You have the cleanest soup ever.
Exactly.
When you poison, you want to make it taste like the food. So it
Okay.
See,
take the pointers
now
from
now
Lorena.
Lorena's starting to scare me.
Well, yeah, I agree with Lorena. You don't want to have any indications whatsoever. If
You
you're
know
gonna
what?
do it
I'm better off with Mary. At least I can see it coming. It's like, well,
yeah,
I done
Yeah.
fucked up somehow.
yeah. Because like my nana says, you got to go to sleep sometime.
Exactly. Exactly.
Women scared the
Oh, that's
hell out
not
of
good when a woman says that shit.
Exactly.
You sleep
I
with
agree.
a cup on and a helmet on, and
me. Oh, boy.
you make sure that shit's got it on lockdown just in case.
Oh my god! I love how Rob's literally in the chat egging this on. I see Tom survived.
Fuck
years
you,
and years
Rob.
to poison him.
You want me to bring you in here? You can deal with this. This isn't as easy as it looks.
No, I won't. I promise not to poison Rob.
Yeah, that's the problem. Y'all behave for Rob. Fuck you. Matt G sends one for Mandy here. Yes, I'm changing the subject like Bill Burr. Can we talk about anything
But we
fucking
don't
else?
forget. But we don't forget. You could change the subject, but we don't forget.
What are we talking about here?
Okay.
Like Britney Spears? Fuck that. Let's move on. Let's talk about anything else. Taste buds.
Oh, shit.
Oh,
Okay,
God.
Matt G for $2, and thank you so much. Like, oh my God, Mandy, like Red Robin as if. Yum. I like Red Robin. They're good.
Yum.
Yeah, there was pretty
That
good
sounds
stuff.
good. I want a hamburger now.
God.
Oh,
Oh,
Lord.
Don't talk about food right now, please.
Oh,
uh-oh.
that's right.
Uh-oh.
I know. I'm
Oh,
hungry.
no.
Let's
El
see.
Punk Trace is next.
El Punk Trace for $2. Ola, Mary, Lorena, OG, Mandy, and Bat Tom.
No, fuck.
It's Toxic Tom now.
I knew that was gonna happen.
I got a T on my back. You
Oh,
can
Lord,
say it's for
something.
toxic. I don't mind.
I knew that shit was gonna happen. I knew
Hi.
that shit was gonna happen.
I'm really
Hi.
fucking bored with this pandemic thing, man. It's been like 567 days, and I haven't done shit.
You need some laxatives then.
Yeah.
The Joker's not doing anything. The Riddler's not doing anything. This is really fucking boring.
I feel like you would be less bored if you ate some Lysol.
Is that good?
It's entertaining.
Does it fuck you up? Like, I used to huff pain as a kid.
For me.
Oh my God.
I always said if it's not a drug, then it's okay.
Define drug.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
You have to define it. If it's paint, you can huff it.
Oh, well, then you wouldn't mind Lysol then.
No.
Gasoline, gasoline.
The Mary Mayhem brand does not endorse any of the stupid shit coming out of Bat Tom's mouth.
Kids, don't try this at home.
Yeah, please don't.
Just to cover my own ass here. Holy hell. Can we like bookmark these super chats, Tom? It's not stopping. I feel like we should bookmark.
We love
them and
y'all.
start.
Yeah, you guys are amazing. Look at
Yes.
that. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much.
Generous.
And we appreciate the hell out of you guys. We really do. You guys are awesome. We love you so much.
Absolutely.
I think he's bookmarking them. Do we want to get the Doomacorn before we? Here, I'll get the Doomacorn from him.
Yeah, there we go.
It's Doomacorn!
I was not expecting that.
I wasn't even about to do a little dance, and then it came out all like scary and demonic, and then I was like, oh, no.
Holy
That just
crap.
scared me.
You need to drop it, like, add some bass, drop that
It's
bottom.
almost
a
like
little
she
bit.
threw up. It was like
Doomacorn.
her fucking head spinning around and shit.
Right?
Your mother sucks cocks in hell.
Green stuff.
I don't know. I just have to. I can't keep. I gotta switch it up. Although that was probably not a good idea because my stomach is like.
I'll
"What the
grab this one.
What's
since
wrong
it's
with you,
not me.
lady?"
AJ Journeyman says, is Tom doing his impression of former WWF's wrestler Ahmad Johnson in his avatar? No. But what I am doing is I worked out. No, I didn't. This is all Perry Chan. All Perry Chan. I wish I looked that svelte. And then we got Sister Harold sending in some love.
Thank you.
Who's next?
I think
I don't remember
Laura's
now.
I
next.
think Mary was
Okay.
last. She did Doomcorn.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll go.
Yeah, go
Sister Haro at Australian 10. Thank you so much. Hell all. Have we spoken about the Twitch policy about calling women woman?
I've
Last
not
week.
heard that.
I know. I haven't.
I seen something. Someone posted something about Twitch, but I don't go on there, even though I have one, and so I didn't really.
It's instead of thoughts, you mean, or what?
I can't keep up with this.
I can't either.
I don't know.
I need a reference document. Or
I can't
Exactly,
keep up with
because
that
they're
shit.
always changing something each day. I'm gonna close my window.
Absolutely. And then we got Jorge Polito coming up next. And no,
Do you want me to get it or you, Lauren?
just don't do creepy Jeff voice.
It's your turn, Mandy. You can
Okay.
get it.
Jorge Polito for $2. Thank you so much. If you want to scare Tom, just call Creepy Jeff. Yeah, I heard
No.
about this Creepy Jeff.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
The High Council last Tuesday, which I was on, by the way. It was so God. It sounded like straight up some Buffalo Bill. Would you fuck me? I'd
That
fuck
doesn't
me.
even go.
Sounds creepy, though.
Exactly
He comes
what
in
it
all
was.
like, hi, Tom.
It was.
dear.
There was a certain like je ne sais quoi that I can't quite.
I know. It's
put
just,
on it. It was really fucking creepy though, and I will have to.
if I ever wake up to that, Jeff's getting punched.
I was gonna say I'm sitting over here. Great. Thanks for the nightmares, Tom.
Motherfucker comes in and he's all like, I'm gonna wake Tom up. Hey, Tom, punch, right? You motherfucker!
I think Bat Tom escaped for a second there.
He did.
You motherfucker.
When I wake up in the morning on bat time, he's like, what's going on? Shit, where am I? Oh yeah.
Oh fuck! All right.
Oh, Lugnuts has got a cute little puppy.
Look nuts for $5 to 4 heavenly jewels and the man, the myth, the legend, Tom. Can we stop blowing his ego up?
Hey, lug nuts.
Oh Lord.
As we were saying,
What are you
welcome to
looking at
Toxic
in
Tom
that-
Show.
Looking at in that picture.
I'm making sure that everybody down below me, all the little peoples, are watching their shits.
Oh,
Right
okay.
now, to me, like I'm looking at all you ladies because you're like underneath the thing. And whatever those people out there think I'm looking at it. If you're naked, I'm looking at it.
Wow.
And I'm judging it.
Okay, Toxic Tom. This is
There we
the
go.
birth of Toxic Tom. This is when he's born right now. This is the
Now,
birth.
and you guys wonder why I'm thinking about the whole Lysol in the soup thing.
No. That's going too goddamn far.
Man, gotta mask it.
Oh, you could just put me to sleep for a day with some sleeping pills, for fuck's sake, I need some sleep.
That's fair. That's fair. That's fair. I'm just gonna go buy a bottle of Unisum and just
Just gives him a chlorophyll. That's it.
Yeah. Does this
I'm gonna
rag
do this
smell like-
one.
Does this rag smell like chloroform to you, Tom?
Hey. I can't. Valiant Renegade, I'm gonna grab this one. Says, "Are we still on Super Tom's? Shit, Tom, get on with Bill Burr's taste buds."
Oh.
Yes, we'll get to that. And then Trace XL is next.
Can I read this?
Absolutely.
Mary over here talking about murder, like I'm gonna put this Lysol in your chili. Get you some spicy spring fresh homicide in here, up in here. Now you see why I don't set her up. I choose
Officers, I need you to check her history if she's been watching How Do I Get Away with Murder.
Yep, that's fair. Thank
Women
you.
watch that shit too often. I almost got away with it. Wives
Trace-
the kill.
Trace is an intelligent man. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, so what you
Saying
fucking
it's not-
saying?
I'm not saying you're not intelligent. I'm
Yes,
saying
you are.
He's talking about Trey, so quit implying she's
intelligence is a spectrum, Tom.
So you saying I'm on the spectrum?
So where's my
I
fucking
might be. I don't know.
Like,
My mama never had me tested.
Okay, is this one me? Okay, Dixon Cider. Okay, Dixon Cider for $5. Thank you. Oh goodness, how dare you call me? Yeah, I fell for that. How dare you call me Mr. Potato Head? It's Yam. Enough with the spud phobia.
You know what's even funnier is in that one statement, the Hasbro guy's like, I am more than happy or something like that. He used the word yam instead of am.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to make fun of it. And it's funny that yam. Yeah.
I noticed that in there they were using a lot of little like tater talk.
Oh, was it? Is that what it was?
Yes,
Oh,
they
fuck
were
them.
using. They were.
That makes it
dropping,
even
like,
dumber.
Little tater puns. All.
That makes it even dumber. Holy shit.
All right, so Riff Magos at Australian 5, thank you so much. Hail Tom and panel. Hail OG. Your encyclopedic Star Wars EU knowledge is an inspiration to Citizens 333 and I, the sarcastic Jedi detective. Well, thank you so much. I'm so honored to be inspiring you guys. Thank you.
Awesome. Then we got, oh no, Swinging Cotty. He's the one who started it.
Do you want me to read this one or do you want to read it?
I'm not reading it.
Okay.
You read it, Mandy.
Swinging Cod for $5. Thank you so much. Hi, Tom. I'm outside your place and I'm in the van with free candy on the side. Come on out and we'll have a drink with a side of chloroform.
You know what? If it was actually Mandy saying that, I totally would. See, that's the difference. Jeff, I would run. Mandy, it'd
I
be
was
like,
trying to sound spooky.
yeah, but see,
Well,
she's
that
already
wasn't
telling me up
focusing
front
him.
that there's
That was
chloroform in there.
See,
Yeah.
this is why we always conscript Mandy to do the dirty work.
That was more sexy than dirty.
Yeah, I was gonna say that was more of a sensual talk, like a luring sensei talk.
She doesn't quite pull off Jeff and Buffalo Bill and skinning somebody,
No.
but
No.
that's,
You
that's
fuck
why
me,
it's
I
perfect. But
fuck
that's
you.
why it's perfect. That's
They'll never
why
say
it's
it coming.
perfect.
They'll
Yeah,
never
exactly.
say it coming.
See?
No.
Well, she even told me the
Lure you
chloroform.
and then slice your throat when she gets you out there.
Jesus Christ, you guys. What the fuck? My God.
I'm so sorry, Tom. I didn't know what I was starting. I really didn't. it was one.
Next thing you know, you're going to try and kill this puppy.
Yeah, we love the puppy.
Is Sleepy Puppy really tired? Or did Mary give him some fucking chloroform? Is that it? You know? I'm not so sure
Oh
now.
my
It
goodness.
was an accident. It was an accident. He got
What'd
into
you do
my
to that poor
stash.
puppy?
It was an
Lord have
accident. He got into
But
my
we-
stash. He'll be fine.
Well, Koala doesn't give a shit. So.
Koalas in the rain, koalas in the rain, no fucks given.
$32 minutes later.
And here we are. Well, ladies, we're going to kick it off starting with Bill Burr here. And then we're actually going to go in a slightly different direction because news cycle is fluid. So have you guys heard about Bill Burr defending Gina Carano?
See,
Yes.
I feel like defending is a strong word. You could see there were defensive elements in it, but he was also very careful, like, to not explicitly state, like, that he was trying to defend her either. He was very, very careful with his words. We do have the video, right, Tom? I know I've just signed my own death warrant by bringing him back in.
We can, I
And I
suppose.
didn't help you either. I'm sorry.
Well, we'll probably just play it. Let's just play it off of ours since it's already kind of cut together.
Cool.
Yeah. Do you want me to pull that up and get that ready?
I'll do it. I'm on the regular Chrome
Okay.
today, so I can actually do stuff.
Yay!
Cheeks can do stuff now.
You can do it.
Yeah, so for those people who don't know about Bill Burr, he is a comedian. I would say that he is on the left. However, his comedy is equal opportunity offensive, which is what I give him much credit for. Like, oh my gosh, like Dave Chappelle. Okay, nobody is safe.
Mhm.
Well,
Which
and
is
that's
how
really how it
comedy
should be.
should be.
Yeah, that's
Exactly.
what it's supposed to be. Like, and look, I don't like. There's a lot of things that I don't agree with on both sides, but I honestly don't give a flying fuck, right? Like, that's not. I don't check your politics before I go to the comedy show.
Yeah.
Which weirdly enough is something people do now. People
Which
check that shit now.
Which takes the fun out of it because you're supposed to go to enjoy comedy.
Yes.
And just laugh, regardless of what it is, because at the core of it, it's just freaking funny.
Mhm.
And comedy brings, as it should, bring everybody together. Like Eddie Murphy Raw, Eddie Murphy Delirious.
Yes. Good times.
Yes. Oh my gosh, Richard Pryor. I was not allowed to listen to his concert. Okay, but how many people were like, yeah, playing it, and I heard he said, X, Y, and Z or whatever. But it was just funny. And you go to just laugh.
I saw what
Forget
all you motherfuckers were saying about me. Take a match and light it up. What's this? Richard Pryor running down the street. Fuck you, motherfucker.
I didn't even know where Richard Pryor was on the political spectrum.
No.
He never said. And you know what? I don't it's like nobody cared because he was just funny. And again, nobody was safe. He made fun of just everyone, and he was so talented at at making people laugh. It from at that point in time, people weren't really concerned about politics. They were concerned, could you make someone laugh? Did you have talent?
See, one of my favorite bits from Bill Burr is the bit where he's talking about no reason to hit a woman, right? Now, I don't know how many of you girls have seen that. How many of you ladies?
No, I haven't seen that. No.
It is the funniest shit. He's like, I was watching this like talk show, and they're like, there's no reason to ever hit a woman. And he was like, no reason? Ever? Really? Because I can think of a few reasons. I'm not saying I would. I'm just saying, don't act like there's no reason on the lawn and you're watching all of your clothes burn.
Yes.
She's just standing. Hey, it's Cameron.
Hey, Cameron.
I've got 4 beautiful women to make me feel happy after being kicked off of Twitter.
They kicked
you off.
Yeah.
What?
They
I
suspended you?
got suspended for promoting spam.
What did you promote?
Fuck them. Spam is good.
Yeah, I was gonna say spam is good. No.
No, it's not. It's,
Pictures of spam or something?
That's the excuse. They didn't have a date of of when or if this would ever be lifted, and so I appealed it, and I pulled the so you're gonna kick off a Muslim guy for his opinions card.
They had it coming.
We'll see if the Islamophobic card will work, but I now have 4 lovely ladies and 1 dude to
it's okay. We managed in the back. You can be our testosterone pool for right now.
Yeah.
I only get allowed in once in a great while, and then they shame me to the back.
You're married, right, Tom? You're married, is that correct?
Oh, hell no. I'm married to this show.
Okay.
I'm married to all these ladies. I'm married to this channel.
Yeah, but he gets the worst part of being married. We all just bitch and nag at him.
I don't get the sex part. Well, so it is like being married. Never.
You got to convert. This is the right number, 4. I can have 4 wives. You guys just have to convert, man. The right.
I would totally be Alora's sister wife.
I have a friend of mine.
Wait. 4 wives? Tell me more about this.
Yeah, a man can have up to 4 wives if he treats them absolutely equally. If he gives wife number 1 a pretty, pendant, he's got to give wife number 2 a pretty pendant. Is the same thing.
Sold. As long as I can get them from the machines at Walmart.
That's fine. You have proper standards. But if polygamy is largely not very existent in the Islamic world, except for some rich dudes in the Gulf or whatever. But I've got my Sufi masters on West Africa, and it is very common there. So I went to visit, and my host had 4 wives, and I asked the eldest wife, I was like, hey, are you okay with this? Because it's not that common anymore. And she said, what are you talking about? I chose the other 3. They do everything. I'm the queen here. They do everything I want. They take care of my kids. They cook, and I run this place. I'm like, okay, hey.
Wife number 1. Wife number 1.
I want to be first wife.
Yeah. No, I want to be there is no first wife.
Listen to these fucking women start arguing. This is why this shit don't work.
No, there's no first wife in this
don't
mess.
ban polygamy.
No, we braid each other's hair equally. We sit in a circle and we all braid that hair. All right.
Historically, women have never banned polygamy because monogamy gives them a choice. You can either be JFK Jr.'s 3rd wife, or you can be Bozo the Clown's only wife. Which one do you want, right? And most women will take JFK Jr.'s 3rd wife. And so Bozo the Clown doesn't like that. JFK takes all the women, so he bans it. That's how it works.
Wow.
This is the kind of stuff that got me banned from Twitter, I guess.
I like the way you think, sir.
But the only thing is, I'm getting this weird. Hold on.
No, his wife is calling him.
Something's happening here. It may be part of the Twitter attack. I'm getting all these random calls on FaceTime from numbers I don't know with multiple fake numbers calling me. So I don't know. It feels. I'm telling you, it feels like.
What did you say to piss somebody off?
I made some pretty direct comments about Kathleen Kennedy on Twitter in the last few days, and I think Lucas saw it.
You're being watched.
Yeah.
Well, I got attacked by some very interesting troll accounts that were following me and then making very see here. This is happening. What I'm gonna do is
Mute that shit, Cameron. Fuck them hoes.
Yeah, I'm gonna cut my phone off, and maybe that'll stop. But I've been getting these every 5 minutes, and these are like.
Do they answer?
You know, I answered the first time because I was like, "What is this?"
Yeah.
And I could hear like voices in the background, but it was like multiple people, and they.
Answer it right now.
Oh
Let's talk
my
to him.
gosh.
I'll talk to him.
No. Something's happened because I shut the phone off, and it's still happening. So
I'll talk to him.
That's
That's
fucking
very
scary. That's
Yeah,
actually
that's a little
scary.
scary. So I'm going to shut the actual phone off. I put it on like airplane mode.
Settle it.
That's really strange. Okay.
You see that? Cameron won't let me at him. I'm just like,
Actually fucking
So,
scary.
I mean, how long are you ladies on? Because I actually have to hop in 10 minutes for like a business call, but I'd love to come back. How long are you guys on?
We're usually on here for a couple of hours anyway.
all depends.
So-
All right.
Yeah,
Well,
an hour and a half to 2. Yeah.
so I came in to create all this drama, which is what I do. Which is
And then he's gonna leave. He's like a tornado that
Fine.
spins in and out.
He's gonna leave us
God.
to braid the
Whoa,
sister
like-
wives' hair. So
that image stays with me. I like that image. I like that image. So since I'm off Twitter, you know, I don't have most of your emails. So I'm gonna in the private chat. I'll send you guys my email. You guys got to stay in contact with me.
okay.
Yeah.
I was literally just thinking. I was like,
yeah, because you're supposed to come on my show soon.
Yeah, exactly. So we have to have a way to be in communication. And I think not all of you are on Facebook, or at least you don't follow me or whatever. So
here, hold on. I don't check my email ever. Just text me there.
okay. Go.
Announce yourself, because I won't respond to random calls like you,
Like
Cameron.
these ones that I'm
Areas
saying.
like me. If I don't know you, forget it. I don't pick
I'm
up.
not answering that fucking phone.
I'm telling you, these are like some kids at Lucasfilm who have nothing better to do because their high galactic crap isn't whatever this New Republic crap isn't selling, right? So they got too much simultaneous.
That's crazy.
Got a really
Isn't it
creepy notion of Mickey's right behind Cameron with some cordage.
Mickey from South Park.
This show is all about murder and all this stuff today.
We're all a little tipsy today. I'm a little tipsy. So what were you ladies talking? We talked about Mandalorian and Bill Burr. Yeah, I saw that. He made some comments. I saw that.
Yeah, that's where Mickey's at right now. Actually, is right behind Bill Burr. Just-
You know, I'm
They all
telling
with the baseball bat.
I'm telling you, this whole thing is gonna go blow up in Lucasfilm's face. I don't think Lucasfilm's gonna survive this. I think they're literally just self-destructing one step at a time.
I agree.
I think. Well, I tend to agree with what the Midnight's Edge video where they were talking about the sort of infighting and how Kathleen Kennedy's camp is so hard up on watching the other side explode and not making anything worthwhile on their own end. That yes, I agree. This is absolutely an implosion/explosion waiting to happen, right? That this is going to wind up turning into one of the messiest situations we've ever seen with a company, because like Lucasfilm isn't going to go bankrupt. It's owned by Disney, right? But I do think that it's going to wind up resulting in essentially from a top-down just wipe, right? Like
I think they went too far, and I think it may take a few months, but I actually think this is going to lead to the end of the Kennedy faction. I think she'll step down maybe a little bit early, and I think all these clowns with who have been hassling people on Twitter and Hidalgo and all these people, they're just going to be moved out. That's what I think that's coming.
Yeah, I think that's incredibly likely. I don't imagine Kennedy has too long after this. But Iger's not stupid. Well, I'm sorry, Chapek. Well, Chapek's stupid. But
Twitter, just call it Chapek stupid.
I heard him on a Morgan Stanley call today. They had an investor event hosted by Morgan Stanley, and they brought in Bob Chapek, and you could tell he had pretty much been coached. And it's just it's the rosy picture, and we have Marvel, and then we have Lucasfilm and Kathy's group over there at Lucasfilm, and I almost puked when I heard that he paints this rosy picture about what's going on. And it's just
was there any feedback? I mean, there's investors on the call. Did they ask?
Here's the thing. Yeah. There are two hedge funds who hold the most Disney stock. One is Vanguard. The other is Morgan Stanley.
Yeah, big shots. Yeah.
You're not going to get any hardball questions from either of them people.
Why? I mean, because there's money on the line. Why do you think that
doesn't matter? They have this symbiotic relationship with Disney. They are not challenging them. Even if you hear the investor calls, They're all softball questions. You will get maybe one person from some scrappy hedge fund that I guess is so hungry. They're just like, dude, you can't mess with my money like that. You'll maybe get one question that'll be like,
it makes sense. It makes sense because Vanguard and Morgan Stanley will be having those conversations privately, right?
Exactly.
They'll be calling. They're not going to do anything that's going to shake up a public call that's going to cause the stock to go down and screw them. They're going to have calls privately.
Right.
Yeah.
The only thing that comes out with starting to challenge Disney is going to be the yearly stockholders meetings where peons like myself, who only own like maybe 1, 2, or 3 shares of stock or whatever, and the activists, that's when we can get there and start asking those hard questions. And, they tap dance around it and all of that. But the investors they have on those investor calls, they're not pushing back the way that they should, because they have investors' interest in not to rock the boat.
Well, I mean, and what would you do if you were in that situation, honestly, right? Like, again, those are questions you have to ask behind the scenes if you want to keep your money.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I'm sure behind the scenes there's a lot of anger because there's a real effect on the bottom line. There's a real
investors. We have not gotten a dividend in 6 months. That did not go over well. That went over as well as a turd in a Sunday punch when they first announced that on the earnings call.
Yeah, because Disney's actually pretty good about dividends.
Yes, very, very good. It's like my, numbers of stock have increased because of reinvestment of the dividend, but they cut that out. So it's an interesting place to be in, but they can't hold the investors off for much longer. I don't see them placating, except for Morgan Stanley and Vanguard. They're happy as freaking clams, but everyone else is just like, no, I don't see that. I don't see it. And there's just a perfect, again, like what Cameron was saying, between Lucasfilm starting to blow up.
Well,
Disney proper is going to start doing that too.
Here's my question, and that's how long are they going to be able to how long is anybody going to be able to like contract talent, right, for these shows? Like how long is this going to last when your stars of these shows are absolutely terrified left and right that they're going to get their ass handed to them, right? For God knows what, for saying nothing, essentially, right? For what was it, the way Bill Burr put it when he was talking about it originally, like here on his podcast, where he was like, where you're just essentially you make a bad comparison, right? Or you make a statement out of ignorance, as we all do at some point or other in our lives, right? And then the next thing you know, you're out on the street living in a cardboard box, right? How long can you expect for talent to be like, yeah, absolutely, I want to come work for you, even though it's entirely possible that I'm going to have my ass handed to me in front of an entire world, right? Like, how long does that? I'm not sure I could ever be in that kind of a situation. And
you can't maintain a hostile environment too long, no matter what company you are. You're going to start running out of the talent you want and start getting shit product. That's how I see it.
Because that's usually the first sign when you see talent jumping ship. Because I've seen it happen in other countries, companies, when you see like CEOs leaving, high level people leaving, talent leaving, then it's just like something's going on. You need to pay attention.
Yeah, I just want to grab this super chat. Oops, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was going to say, it's like you can't, again, like Mary was saying, it's like you can't keep talent around long enough, because when they're leaving, word's getting out about how crappy the place is that you left.
Yeah.
That's it.
I actually have to hop in a minute for this because I've got a business call with somebody in Dubai, and so it's like 8 a.m. for them. But I want to take the super chat here. I'll read it.
Absolutely, yeah. That's what I hopped in for. I just wanted to grab this before you left.
So Christian Coralejo, forgive me if I mispronounce it. For Kamran Pasha, I've heard before that as long as you have good writing, any idea could work. Do you believe that to be true? If you mean work in the sense that it can be made, that's not true. I mean, I've written a lot of great scripts that have never been made, right, and may never be made. And there's hundreds of scripts right now out there that are well written, and hundreds of books that can be adapted that are written that won't be made. There's other factors why something is successful, which is primarily whether you can get it in front of the people inside the club, right? And the example I use is I was out pitching a major fantasy series by the huge fantasy author Guy Gabriel Kay. If any of you know him, he wrote Tigana and the Fiona of Our Tapestry books, which are huge. And I was out there pitching, doing a series based on his fantasy world about 3 months before Game of Thrones was greenlit. And I went to everybody. I went to Showtime. I'd already worked for Showtime. So I knew those guys, HBO, all those people. And everyone said, there's no market for sand and sandals and dragons. And then 3 months later, I'm seeing the people on top. Yeah. And I see 3 months later, Game of Thrones is greenlit because David Benioff was in the club, right? He was in the club and they would buy it from him. They wouldn't buy it from me.
See, that's what's nuts about this is we are all upset. We as consumers of this stuff, we're upset. How is Hollywood so bankrupt? How are they so in terms of just that good storytelling? How is there nothing new coming? It's not that there aren't new ideas. It's not that there aren't good brand new stories out there that exist, right? They're just not giving them to us because they're cowards.
They're cowards, and it's all about this town isn't about making stuff. It's about the club, right? I mean, that's what this is.
Oh, yeah. God. I have to laugh.
Party. That's what this is.
Which parties you get invited to? You want to get invited to the right parties to be in front of the right people to make the right connection.
That's all this is. When you think about David Benioff, when he got his show greenlit, he had no experience in TV. I had more experience than him, right? And he's a nice guy. I went to college with him, so I'm not going to criticize him. I have some creative issues with where the show went, but one thing that made him in the club was his dad was the president of the New York Federal Reserve. So suddenly, a guy, everyone at HBO is like, oh, this dude's got an angle into the Federal Reserve. We got to give him a shot. Right? Doesn't matter if you work 15 years on TV and have experience, right? And as we saw, as we learned from that thing, he had people that, their pilot didn't work, and HBO paid to reshoot the entire thing. Normally, if I make a pilot that doesn't work, I'm fired. Right? So that's what it works. The club. All right, ladies. I apologize. I have to hop for my Dubai friend, but if I come back like a half an hour, if you're still around, can we?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And I hope I can come back on because I have no more friends now. I've lost all my Twitter friends.
Oh, you have us.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I got 4 beautiful women. This is all any Muslim man could ever ask for. And
we'll get to hair braiding right now, Cameron.
Leave me that image. I gotta go. All right. I'll talk to you guys later.
Bye. Right. See, I wouldn't mind Charlie's angeling it up for Cameron.
Right?
Fun.
I can't believe they suspended. Well, I can kind of. It's bullshit.
They just
poor Tom. I heard they now have a citrus smelling Lysol.
Add some lemon to his tea,
Don't
right?
you be giving them any goddamn ideas. I like lemons.
Oh my gosh.
I'll burb. I'll BRB right back, Lorraine.
You're gonna burb.
I'm gonna burb.
Burb. All right.
So is this our video?
I guess so. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Back into history, and anything that a woman did, they're gonna make a guy's fault. I wonder if you think in like 10, 15 years they're gonna look back at a couple of these Me Too cases? The bad date ones.
I keep
being like, should we have treated that person like Harvey Weinstein or whatever?
They absolutely, Bill. I keep saying. I was saying it the other day about Gina Carano or whatever her name is. It's like, look, you can say that her tweet was stupid or clumsy or whatever, but the reaction to it to me was so crazy that I was like, guys, this is going to be a thing that you look back on. And the example for that is everybody said George W. Bush was the devil. If you in any way supported him or liked him or whatever, you were the devil. There was something wrong with you. You were a racist. You were this, you were that. That fucking guy is on the talk show circuit now. He goes on Kimmel and he kicks back and he gets applause breaks. And everybody goes, he's kind of cute. Remember how dumb he was? Whatever. And they're going to be doing that with half of these canceled people. And go,
Did you want me to stop it or? Okay, you ladies are in control. You just tell me if you want me to.
There's more to it. The focus is more on the Gina part, but I don't know. The one I saw was shorter than this one. It was just a little clip.
Man. Sorry about that. Sorry about the last date. It's like a guy in jail for marijuana sales right now in LA. You know what I mean?
I just saw Pee Wee Herman on the Wheel of Fortune.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They ruined Pee Wee, dude.
And he was jerking off where you're supposed to jerk off.
Oh my
God.
Who is he offending? Those other fucking people jerking off?
He's right on that one though. He's right.
Those local cops.
Mugshot.
Those local cops.
I've said
saw a
that for
big
years.
score. That's what
It's
they said.
Florida.
Oh God.
It was freaking
Oh
Florida.
shit,
It's
boys.
a weird time. I don't know. I kind of I have unless you did some truly horrible shit. I mean,
If you hurt someone, I don't have time for you. But if we're talking about words, like even bad words, I'm like, come on, man. I mean,
no. I wouldn't say that. No, if you're just saying overtly racist shit, yeah.
no,
but I mean,
yeah, but I meant-
if you make like a bad comparison,
yeah,
if you come off like Joe trying to find where Atlanta is compared to New York,
yeah.
that's not like, homophobic. That's just ignorant.
What did Carano say? She said that she goes in 1940s Germany. I'm paraphrasing, but she said in 1940s
Which is always
Germany,
a good thing to do on something like this.
Thank
by
you.
By all means, let's
Can
hear
you
your
stop
take
that
on
for a
this.
minute?
I don't
For
know.
the
Yeah,
second time,
yeah.
and not
Can you stop that for a minute? What Bill Burr said, yeah. So basically, yeah, it's
Right.
okay to paraphrase on something as important with that. It's like, did you pick that up? It's like, dude, you realize
Mm-hmm.
you can't remember what she said, what Gina
Exactly.
said that outraged everyone, but you say, oh, but I'm gonna paraphrase. So
No,
it's not important to get her words
that's-
right.
But that's
Yeah, that's
exactly
the
what they
biggest
did,
problem.
though. That's exactly what they did, though, right? And I love. I think you're 100% right to point that out. That he pointed that can't have been an accident on his end, right? Bill Burr's not actually a stupid guy. He's actually a pretty intelligent guy.
Mhm.
And he picks up on stuff. He's bright and he's quick on the draw. And so the fact that he pointed that out, like, that's a great fucking idea. Let's paraphrase this statement that clearly, if you paraphrase, is going to wind up fucking up the intent of the entire season.
Exactly.
Exactly. And then, you could just see it on Twitter, and anybody who talks about Gina is that they do more than paraphrase. They basically assume what she says and warp it into something else. It's completely different than what either she retweeted or she agreed with or what have you. There's a lot of assumption and a lot of changing of phrases that pisses me off with this. So it was a good catch for
I
him.
think that's honestly where a lot of the problems that we have when it comes to this sort of fighting shit that's going on a constant and regular basis, that's, I think, where so many of these problems start, is when someone starts to paraphrase you, someone starts to misunderstand you, and they don't take the time to actually understand you because they don't want to agree with you, right?
No.
They don't because they don't believe, they don't agree with the route that you want to take, right? So the end that I think most of us agree on where we want things to end at, right? We want things to end in a place that is good for everyone, right? That is not necessarily equitable, but that has equality in mind, right? Where we want things to end in a nice, harmonious place where we all get along. Because the truth is that there aren't a shit ton of bigots running around out there. I'm not saying they don't exist. I'm saying there aren't a shit ton of them, right? And so most of us want to get to a good place. And so where we wind up having a problem is that we miss each other in translation, right? We don't speak the same language necessarily or agree on how to get there. And so this paraphrasing is where the problem comes in, this misunderstanding of what someone was saying.
Yeah, misinterpretation is rampant right now with everything.
It's
And
like
I think
no one wants to think. No one wants to actually read what's there and critically think about.
No, they read it. They don't look at people on the other side as humans. They look at them again, like I said last week. They look at them as something that is in their way. So they twist it to fit what they in their head think that this person must be saying, because obviously, Gina's leans politically this way. So obviously she must believe this, and this. So they just go on and assume that and put it on everybody's, they just assume.
And that just goes back to the interview where she was talking about she's giving a logical explanation and they want an emotional answer. So even if you logically point out X, Y, and Z, they're going to look at it and basically say, well, I don't like how you made me feel.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. No, it's they know exactly what they're doing. Nobody could read that and think that it meant anything other than what it meant. There is no way you can convince me that somebody saw that and thought, oh my, no, that is not how they saw it. And they said, oh, this bitch, huh?
Mm-hmm.
And then they twisted it and just ran with it.
Mhm.
Well, that's where so much of this starts, is that they heard something from someone.
It turns out my call's been rescheduled for Wednesday, so it's all good.
Yay!
All right.
Awesome.
We'll talk about Bill Burr.
Tom's perpetually sticking me on the bottom now. What the hell, Tom?
It's your fault you're not on fucking camera.
It's not my fault my camera doesn't work. Anywho, but no, it's
Don't take it out on me.
okay. Anyway, so the God, I don't even remember what I was about to say. I was about to say that it was good too. It was good.
Oh, I'm sure it was the greatest thing you're ever going to say. Are we getting back to the video?
Yes, is exactly.
Okay, quit interrupting. Toxic.
No.
Tom, get
To
in the
incur
back.
the wrath of the YouTube gods, we will jump ahead to Bill Burr's response.
That's the same reduction of circumstance.
It's then that Burr's demeanor goes from jovial to serious and almost dour, and his entire body language changes.
So what you're saying, Joe, is she should have compared it to slavery, and it would have been better.
Okay,
He
that's
tried
not
so
funny,
hard.
but
Get
okay.
that.
Tries
Just don't-
so
all I'm
hard.
saying is, whether you agree, disagree, whatever, I just don't get this place that we're in where there's no room for discussion about anything, and
I
even
think because there's too many channels, Joe. Too
it's
many
just
channels,
wild.
and then you gotta like do sensational shit. I don't know what the fuck it is. I mean, I'm on that fucking
Everybody-
show. Now I gotta watch what the fuck I say.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
That's one zinger. Yeah, that's you know, he's very careful in that interview, but he sent a message out with that.
Yeah, I agree.
Very obvious.
Yeah, look how uncomfortable he looks. Just the
Mhm.
thought of, holy shit, I could be next up on the
Exactly.
chopping block. I mean, that is the look of somebody that knows he could be next.
I mean,
He's done very edgy comedy for almost 20 years.
Yes,
Yeah.
and you know they have no problem going and pulling some shit from 15 years ago and throwing it back up in his face now. Well, look what you did back in, 1998.
Can
you
we
see
have
what
a
you
little-
did there?
Can we have a little mercy on Bill Burr right now and freeze frame this with a different face, please? Like,
Oh,
They're terrible. He's on this whole video.
I feel like there's got to be a better frame we can freeze on for this poor guy. Like,
Oh my goodness.
Bill Burr's not he's not fucking, Brad Pitt in his heyday, but like, can we find a different?
Oh,
You want to
man.
do him a solid?
Yeah, Mary likes the bald guys. Mary likes the bald guys.
I actually am. I'm indifferent to hair or no hair, right? Like it's whatever. Just wear it well. That's my only criteria, right? Whatever you're gonna do, wear it well. If you're gonna go bald, be a Picard, right? So like, just handle your
really
like Cameron wears it well, right?
I will.
Cameron wears it very well.
Yeah.
But like this poor guy right now looks like he's like staring down a big piece of ham and can't wait to dive in. Like,
He looks like he's in the middle of a dump and he can't figure it out.
Oh, damn.
get it?
I didn't
I'm
need
not- I
that
don't-
picture.
I don't,
Mike.
Yeah.
I don't want a dog on Bill Burr. I'm trying to do this man a
He's a
favor
funny
right
guy.
now.
And he's a good actor. He was good in the role.
He was a great actor. I thought it was wonderful. I felt like I didn't expect to feel for his character, and I did.
Mm.
Right?
Oh, when he took out that imperial colonel or whatever, who he had a history with, that's a really powerful scene.
Yeah, it was really great the first time I saw it in Django Unchained.
Wow,
I didn't see that movie.
Well, it's
Tom,
right
you
out of
really-
that.
Whatever. Guess
It's
what?
not his fault the story shit. He's great. I love Bill Burr.
Guess
He's
what?
hilarious. I've been
Star
a fan of Bill
Wars,
Burr
you
since way
already
before he
saw
was in
Star
Star
Wars.
Wars.
If
Yeah.
you're watching
You saw
Bill
Star
Burr,
Wars.
I tried. If you're watching Bill Burr, I tried. I really tried to get him to change the.
You really think he's watching us right now?
I didn't think he was, but you never know. You never know. I'm just saying.
He might be, but
Okay,
he's got
so-
so much more important shit to do than we
I just have to respond to Tom and say, Star Wars is a ripoff of Akira Kurosawa.
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I'm not ripping on
Everything's been
Bill.
done before. Whatever.
It's the writer's fault. It's not his fault.
Hashtag mercy for Bill is in the chat.
What?
And yes, Cameron got that one. He's just like, oh, touche, motherfucker.
Oh,
He'll be back. He always comes back.
Toxic Tom. Toxic Tom. What can we do with
I know
you?
I'm Toxic Tom.
That was strange.
He's
Okay.
back.
There we go. A lot of strange stuff is happening today. I'm getting weirdo. I
That was
blocked,
actually perfectly timed.
It was.
blocked all the people on this FaceTime. There were like 7 phone numbers on this FaceTime that were calling me. I blocked all of them. So I don't know what it's about.
That is so creepy.
It is
Yeah, that's
It is
freaking
creepy.
nuts.
And they
All
kept
right, I'm
calling
going
me.
to the back room.
I wonder if Gina experienced that, with, her, when they canceled her. I wonder if there was people that got her information, because you never know if this could be happening with Cameron, just by getting suspended and them watching him and stuff. You never know what the hell is going on.
She has a private email that's been disabled. I know that for a fact. So stuff's been happening to her. I don't know what's happened to her, but I'm aware that she has a private email that she was communicating with people with, and it's been disabled. Something's wrong.
Yeah.
Wow.
I believe it.
That's freaking creepy.
It is creepy. I mean, no, I'm honest with you. I read, you guys been following me, I post religious, political, and I post beautiful girls, and that's it. That's my shtick, right? And in the last few days, I was pretty open on Twitter about Lucasfilm, and suddenly I get pulled in this way and getting these creepy calls, literally half an hour after my account gets suspended. I'm getting these weirdo spam calls that I've never gotten before. Something's happening, and Lucasfilm is a very shady organization that can do things. I really do believe that.
Yo, yeah, absolutely. Like, I'm sorry, but there's no way you acquire as much power as Disney has acquired over the course of the last almost 100 years or so now that because Disney was doing that back in the 20s, way back in the 20s, he was trying to start up a shtick, right? There's no way you are the kind of juggernaut that Disney is, and you don't have the ability to get some shit done. Some shit.
I can share with you.
Absolutely.
I can share with you a direct experience that happened to me in 2000. It was in 2005, December of 2005, exactly, because that's when my show Sleeper Cell premiered, right? And that was a show that really put me on the map. And the day that it premiered, the LA Times did a full page article on me as this up and coming new Muslim writer. And I've like framed on my wall, whatever. But so the interesting that happened, the day that the show premiered and that article came out, my phone was hacked. That's in 2005. Someone actually hacked into my phone and changed my voicemail message. And it's someone else's voice that said, "Hi, my name is Cameron Pasha. I'm a real," and he just used a lot of 4-letter words and a lot of horrific descriptions. And I was like, what the hell just happened? My sister calls, like, what is that in voicemail? I call the phone company. They're like, the only way this could have been done is if somebody actually did it from inside the phone company.
Wow.
You never know. Some people can get bought off by a very, very small price.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Whatever this is want.
even within our own community, we get leaks. We have sources, right? You have like I don't see it as that different, right? People who have agendas, right, align with other people who have agendas. It doesn't take that much effort or energy even to find someone who sympathizes with you, who agrees with you, and will do something for a price, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
No, but all of this to me is a sign that Lucasfilm is in serious trouble. It's all a sign, because you don't do this kind of stuff when you're winning.
No.
Oh no, you don't have to. And that's the crazy part about all of this, is that like the extreme extents that they're going to implode everything. Like, doesn't it just border on absolute insanity? Like, absolute insanity.
It's pure malice and self-destruction.
It's actually insane. And like, it's like pouring Lysol in your soup levels of insane.
Yeah.
Right. Like, we joke about that shit, but Mickey's over there literally like holding the cordage. This is fucking nuts.
But this is a logical place. And I think everyone on this call, I think it might even happen to you, Laura, as well. There have been times when we've suddenly been attacked by people that we can tell are Lucasfilm plants, right? And that is when I can tell these accounts that show up that were created 5 years ago with like no followers, that suddenly started attacking the moment The Last Jedi, right? And they're in every thread of yours. Those are Lucasfilm people. They're either internal people or people that they've hired to hassle you, right? And if that is what they were doing that 3 years ago. And I started talking out against The Last Jedi. I started getting these clearly concentrated attacks by people connected to the company. And If they're doing that 3 years ago, that's already crazy. And so
Well, Ryan Johnson confirmed that they were watching. They were watching everything. Remember when they were harassing Mike Zero?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, I
Yeah.
mean, even J.J. Abrams acknowledged that we exist, right? Like, if you think that J.J. Abrams has the time to know we're over here, we exist, and to have formed an opinion, what do you think is going on with the other?
Well, we knew that, yeah.
Yeah.
And then not only that, I mean, you had Gina basically say that there are people in the company who will gun for you, and they're the ones who are starting these fucking hashtags and shit. And this is what we've been trying to say all this time. That gets constantly tied in with other things, with like, the whole canceling of the sequel trilogy and stuff, which is something we've never said that was going to happen. We've reported on things that people have claimed, but what we've maintained all this time is you have one faction that's all about the fucking agenda, and you have the other faction that's all about just telling good Star Wars. And there's some people who just, that's all they want. And just in the last couple of weeks, I've heard, I can't say too much about, people who've reached out, but like, yeah, there's things that are happening and people are pissed. People are sick of a toxic work environment. We're trying hard to protect some people right now that are concerned for their, I hate to say safety, but they are. I hate to make it sound so dire and
it is. In the old school of Hollywood, back in the 1920s and 30s, we're talking about actual safety. I mean, the town controlled the mob, and so if you were a problem, you'd have a car accident, right? That's the legacy of this town.
They still find people like just dead in their fucking cars all the time, and
absolutely, that's not crazy. And this town, I will share with you one story of that without naming the producer. I'm working with an Oscar-nominated producer who's very, very powerful, and he shared with me the story. His partner actually shared the story. His partner said to me, the only time he's ever seen that person afraid was once when he basically tried to screw over one of the top people in DreamWorks SKG, Spielberg, Katzenberg.
Oh, yeah.
One of those three, I won't say which one, one of those three who tried to take an actor off one of their projects, right? And that person directly called this guy. This guy's got like 5 Oscar nominations, right? Called and said, are you trying to fuck with me? Are you trying to fuck with me? Do you know what's going to happen if you try to fuck with me? He said, we're trying to take his actor off his project and steal it. And he said he walked out of the call white as a ghost and actually scared for his life because that person could have him killed. So that's the only time he's ever been scared.
There are certain, I'll call them groups or organizations that I won't even mention their names because I'm afraid of the fury they could bring raining down. And it's like, we already know, like Mary brought up, we know that we're on their radar. I mean, and they don't like us, and they can see why we're a problem, and that's why they keep trying to shine us off as just some alt-right trolls, when really it's like, no, wait, we're many, we're diverse, and we all are sick and tired of this toxic bullshit when you guys are claiming to be on the right side of history and doing what's right, when all it is just tearing this fandom apart. And then you have the other side of it where there's people like Gina and even Bill here where he's obviously afraid to speak out on it. And we got to finish up his bit here so we can keep going. But yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, you would, again, to put on like my evil mastermind hat, you have to be absolutely stupid to not have your spies out there, your rebel rousers out there, conducting guerrilla warfare against the other side. It makes perfect sense that they would do that.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, like, it's crazy that we're at that point, though. It's crazy that we're even at that. Look, all we ever wanted, like, this whole thing has gotten so insane and out of hand. All we ever wanted was for you to stop fucking this thing we love up, right? Like, hey, like the bare minimum requirement for the thing that we are spending our money to support, right, is to do a good job, right? That's all we wanted from this, was just like, hey, just do a good job, know your stuff, write good stories, and we'll support it. And this won't have to be an issue. And now suddenly we're in this weird situation where people are like being canceled to the point of like, hey, how do I know whether or not I'll even have a damn job tomorrow? Bill Burr is sitting here looking like Cameron said earlier, like he has a shit and he doesn't know what to do with it.
Dude, I got bills.
Right?
Look on his face.
Like this is where we're at. Is this not fucking insane? Like, this is insane. Why can't you just do your job?
This has happened before in history. This is exactly how the Cultural Revolution started gaining steam in China, right? People, psychosis spread. It was basically a psychosis, and they were all young, crazy people. You know, when we talk about the division between Lucasfilm, there's a division of age and experience as well. You don't have a lot of 55-year-old woke weirdos, right? All right. You've got a lot of these 18 to 25-year-old kids who suddenly are drunk with power, right? And they're brainwashed, and they're like, you know, the red guard. And so they're out there, and to them, literally, this is an attack on God and family to them, right? You know, the attack on their woke ideology, and they're coming out like the Cultural Revolution to just stamp it all away.
Yeah, it's kind of scary though. It's actually scary because it was never like, that's never what it was for the rest of us, right? We just wanted good stories. That's all we wanted. We wanted these things that we love and hold true and hold dear to remain true to themselves, right? That was all we ever wanted. And so for it to be taken to these levels of just like warfare, like absolute warfare, it's scary and insane.
Right.
And why? Like,
well, I just want to say this, like, all Gina is really guilty of is being more popular than Ray. That's all she's really fucking guilty of.
Yeah.
And that's why they started gunning for her. And that's why when people chuckle and laugh about the stupid shit, it's like, you don't realize how fucking insane these people are. And Kathy is one of them. She sees this shit and it's in her mind, and they've even put this shit in the articles. There's even been these stands or whatever you want to call them out there on Twitter pointing this shit out. Is like, look, yeah, there's some people canceling Disney Plus, but you don't want those customers anyway. It's the same thing when they said, we don't want those Star Wars fans anyway. Right. And then they try to convince the other people higher up that, oh, as long as those people are out of the way and you get rid of people like Gina, then the show is safe and Star Wars is safe again. It's a safe space again for all these people that don't fucking exist. That's the thing, is they've got them bamboozled into thinking that there's this huge young audience that's willing to accept Star Wars as long as you get rid of the istophobes.
But does anyone actually accept that?
No, they don't give a fuck.
That's just the illusion. That's the illusion.
That's the
that
illusion.
The Twitter fans give you. It's like I tell people, Twitter is not real life. Twitter is not a barometer of what's happening in the real world, but it's a safe little space where people of the same ideologies can all glom together. They say never underestimate the power of stupid people in groups. You've got a stupid people in a really huge group there on Twitter.
Yeah, but the crazy thing about it is that they're all together and they're in a group, but none of them buy anything.
No, they don't.
No. They don't care.
They couldn't even show up to stand for Kathleen Kennedy or any of the.
They've tried.
No, like have you seen the like ratio over on the Star Wars?
No, I know.
Channel?
Yeah,
they can't even show up to
they
like
don't
video.
Care. They don't care. It's
that's why in our video, we said they put up a pitiful excuse of a fight for her because they've tried, and now that they're going after Cameron here, those are probably coming from inside. I guarantee you. Like Kathy's got people. That's where these things started. That's where these hashtags start. Is they've got these few people inside Lucasfilm who get these useful idiots out there to start, raving about fire Gina Carano, fire Rosaria Dawson, do all this shit because they think it's going to make it safer for all the fucking people who are, scared to death of pew-pews, I guess. I don't fucking know.
And the thing is, and what I was gonna say is that we are experiencing nihilism because there is no, there is no culture much culture within this future generation. And if they see religion or culture and it goes against their belief, then of course, they're going to cry out about it instead of being open-minded. And so we're seeing these platforms, these franchises that were created under mythos and other ideologies from the world itself. And it doesn't fit their narrative. So that's why we're seeing Star Wars being reinvented. And they think that they're catering to these people. They're not.
Yeah, those people don't care about any of this.
No, they don't.
No.
Yeah.
No.
They don't watch it. They don't buy anything. And I just want to say the interesting thing is I knew something was up yesterday. So I'm not shocked that all the strange stuff started happening on Twitter and now my phone having these weird things happen. Something happened yesterday. You get trolls on Twitter all the time or whatever. Somebody started trolling me on Twitter, but not he or she or whatever. The Twitter account was talking about me in other threads, but not like linking me, right? So somebody said, "Hey, take a look what this guy's saying," right? So he's just making these attacks. He was just like going whenever people were saying stuff, he'd come up and say, "Well, you're getting that from Cameron Pasha. He's a total fraud, right? He got fired from Disney." He started listing all my stuff. Right?
I saw that.
Yeah,
I saw that one.
Okay, I didn't see it.
yeah, who is this guy? So I responded and said, hey, and this guy had been following me. This account had been following me. I was like, why are you following me if you think I'm all these terrible things? And then he made some more personal attacks and I blocked them. And then they started sending messages, posting in these threads about my religion, talking very specifically and actually like in a detailed understanding of Islam in a corrupted way, like how a bad guy would see Islam, right? And I was like, this guy's not stopping. Like, I've already blocked him and he's still going threads and he's sending me these messages. It's somebody who's obviously been following me and making very specific comments about stuff I posted. I was like, this is not a normal troll. This is Lucasfilm.
Because some of those trolls will be following you and
like,
lurking, or they will put you on a list and lurk. Because I've had people do that to me too. So I can figure out who it is and just like, okay, you've just been lurking around just for the opportunity. Again, it's like a thief sizing up a target, scoping out the area to see if it's territory. Exactly. They'll do that too and just lie in wait and just watch you.
And they'll find your weaknesses and stuff and then attack from that. And once you post something that is controversial or they think is controversial, which may not even be, then that's when they strike and their minions come and strike. That's how they roll.
And this is how, when I felt this was actually a Lucasfilm person doing it, I got really angry, right? And I posted on Twitter before I was removed. I posted a message with like hashtag Lucasfilm. I said, to any Lucasfilm troll that's following me, get a life. Kathleen Kennedy doesn't respect you. You're just a pawn in her game. I posted that, and you're not getting, your careers are over. You're not going to have jobs after this. No one's going to want to hire you. I posted that message, and then I get my Twitter pulled. That's Lucasfilm. And somebody's like, oh, this fucking guy. And they said they made a call and boom. Because there's no reason Twitter literally is like, you're posting spam. Okay, that's not real. So obviously you got a call to take this account down. If they can take down the president of the United States, random nobody Cameron Pasha.
Yeah. That's too much power. That's too much corporate power.
It's the same thing. Like, you saw a few accounts like that for Gina, right? People that literally like they like her or they follow her, right? Just so that they can basically monitor everything that she says and does. It's a form of stalking, and it's actually incredibly terrifying. And I mean, I've had a few people that do that kind of stuff. Like, you're like, okay, well, I'm going to block this person. I'm going to try to get away from this person. They make new accounts. They stay after you, and you get a little uncomfortable. But you like, okay, well, it's still like just online. But then shit starts happening, like for Cameron, where his fucking phone's going off, and you're saying to yourself, how far can this actually go? It's actually scary.
It is scary. But I will say, if there are Lucasfilm plants watching this right now, okay? So I will tell you this. So just a little thing. I was up for a major job on a huge TV show last year that you all know and a few of you probably watch, right? And I didn't get it. And I found out I didn't get it because the showrunner really liked me. And I was like, well, why didn't I get it? And it's like turned out that a director that I'd had a bad experience with is VP on the show. Right. So the director said, I don't want to work with this guy. And they pulled it. I said, okay, if that's the case, I was like, all right, watch what's about to happen, because my entire career is you mess with me, angelic forces balance against just today. So that was 3 months ago. I was like, all right, I lost a major gig that could have been huge for my career. Right. Yeah. And I said, okay, this guy pulled that. I'm sorry. Just today, I got a call from a producer who's like, remember that director? That director just got fired from the project. There's legal actions now happening. Right.
Wow. There you go.
And karma, you just don't.
Which is funny.
You're not as powerful as this EP on a Netflix show. You're not as powerful as that.
What's funny is you could have went out and you could have done what they do, right? You could have been like, oh, this motherfucker wouldn't hire me because he's got some personal agenda against me. It's probably because I'm this, that, or the other, which they would have done. But you didn't do that. You just said, you're like, whatever.
I got a career. I'm going to move on. I got other stuff to do. And I always know it balances out. And this clown is
instead of making yourself some kind of fucking victim. Yeah.
So all of you guys who are watching and planning to harass any of these lovely ladies, know that there's forces you don't understand at the age of 23 that are going to come.
Well, and all these lovely ladies know exactly what you're talking about because they've dealt with it. We've dealt with it on a lower level, and it's getting insane. And we need to get through this interview bit so we can move on to the next part of the story. But, so I'm going to get going with this since there's only a couple minutes left.
Yeah, I'm a fan of that show. Everybody.
What show is she on? What show is she on?
The Mandalorian.
The Star Wars, yeah.
They don't even know what
they cancel their action figure. That's how deep cancel culture is. They cancel their action figure. It's like, let the action figure come out. I mean,
Did she ever pony up to you, Bill? I'm like, Bill, I got a few ideas. I think that you'll like.
No, she was an absolute sweetheart.
Yeah.
Super nice fucking person, and whatever. And somehow someone will take this video and they'll fucking make me say something else, and try to get rid of
he's
my
actually
bald
scared of that
action
shit.
figure.
Yep.
Wait, you have an action figure?
Yeah. Do you have an action figure?
No.
Oh,
Oh, you fucking nerds.
oh, if you get one, dude, I'm buying it.
Honestly, I can't, how it is out there. It's fucking crazy time. They just there's just people just waiting, just laying in the weeds.
Mm-hmm.
There's snakes in the grass.
It really is, man.
You think there is
Mickey with some cordage
group of
right
people-
behind you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying.
like a type of person out there reading the trades and then going, Joe DeRosa signs a 6-figure deal. All right, let's deep dig him, find out what he did wrong, and that's how I spend my day.
Let's show that he's human and he's made a mistake in his past, and let's take that dream away. I don't know how it works.
Bird then attempts to change the subject, but does clearly show that he has valid concerns about this.
Who's about to break? I guarantee you, there's people lying in wait like that and just saying, this guy's star's starting to rise a little bit. Let me just dig a few things up. It's got to be. I mean, this shit comes out so fucking fast. It's crazy.
It is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
How about you just be an individual and you continue to buy tickets to people that you want to go see?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And just sort of fucking, because that's one of the things that's weird to me is a few people that have they go back out on tour, and then they're gonna sell out and people want to go see him, and then the people who don't want to see him don't even want to let the people that still want to see him or her see him.
Yeah.
Then it just becomes
That's freaking control right there.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
All
I'm sitting
about
there
control.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's insane.
I my thing about that is how do you hold up you judging somebody that harshly about, because I'm not talking about like the hardcore shit. I'm just talking about, because now it's becoming like, hey, you made an ignorant comparison. There goes your dream, right? I'm like, I look at that, it's like, who the fuck stands up to that?
I mean, dude, it's a great question, and the brutal part of it is,
Joe, every once in a while you send a compliment my way. I appreciate it.
The problem is the first part of that. The problem is it's not just go buy tickets who you want to go see. Of course, obviously, the problem is they go into the Yelp reviews of the venues. And they try to get the venues shut down.
Can we just talk about something else? Who gives a fuck, Joe? Let's talk about taste buds. Jesus Christ, we're sitting here talking about Britney Spears and fucking Janet Jackson.
Burr then abruptly ends the conversation and then goes to a jump cut for an advertisement, and then resumes the discussion on a completely different topic.
Russia is the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't want to talk about that any longer, did he?
Well, it's got to be exhausting and doing that kind of a tap dance.
Yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
Well, and you could clearly tell that his guest, which would be the guy in the bottom, didn't know he was on that show.
No.
And the guy and
Yes.
his partner knew he was on the show, but he didn't know Carano was on the same fucking show.
Right.
Yeah. So, and again, in their excuse, and Cameron can kind of vouch for this. When you're in Hollywood, if you're like a performer like that, you're so busy. You don't, even us on YouTube, we don't have time to watch all of our friends' videos. It's just, it's impossible to pile that much shit in a day. So it is understandable that they were keeping up on the Star Wars stuff, right? And they weren't aware that their friend was in this, but that was where he was found, at least in my opinion, from what I could tell. You found Burr in this really strange spot because he's like, these guys are talking about this and I don't want to talk about this, or I can't talk about this. And that's probably what he said after that cut. He's probably like, guys, I cannot talk about it.
There's legal issues. But he said something. He said something twice. When you say something twice, it's noteworthy. He used the word "take your dream away." Gina has said in interviews this word's her dream.
Yeah.
To go to Hollywood, to become an actress, to become a star. I mean, she was already a hugely successful MMA fighter. To be an actress was her dream. I've heard her say that in interviews. He said that. That means she said it in front of him, right? That means it hurt him. He used that phrase twice because it took away from her.
I imagine it's probably applicable. Like he probably feels it deep within his own core as well, right? Obviously he has interest in doing this acting thing. He's popping up in a few different places, and I think this is something that it probably very much resonates with him, right? Like you take away her dream, what's to stop you from taking away mine, right? And you guys are about to twist my words here, right? Because God,
he's more vulnerable than she is. He's got 20 years of raunchy comedy. You know, if they tried to cancel Chappelle, the great thing is Chappelle canceled himself.
They dig back. Yeah, they dig back and they'll slam you with that. You know,
well, and I hate to say it. I hate to say this, but it doesn't even matter what he said in the past. I can't believe that his PR agent or somebody didn't tell him to cut that whole bit out, because him just basically saying that she's a lovely person and all that kind of stuff is enough for them to associate him with them, and they're just going to use that against him.
Yeah. Well, and
look at what they're trying to do with Henry Cavill, for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
He doesn't exactly have the same backup that Chris Pratt had in the entire Avengers team, right? Because Lucasfilm, I said this earlier here on Midnight's Edge, that Chris Pratt had this amazing support structure, right, from all of these people over at Marvel, where they're actually a pretty close-knit, tight family over there. They've been working with one another for over a decade at this point, right? So they sort of have each other's back. Lucasfilm is clearly a house divided. Gina Carano couldn't rely on that kind of tight-knit family structure, right? The best she got was a few words out of a couple people's mouths going, oh, she's a nice chick, right? That's the best she could hope for in this situation. It certainly didn't save her damn job. You better believe Jon Favreau didn't go to bat for her, at least not enough to keep her job intact.
No, you cross that red line. Once you start talking about the Holocaust in this industry, no one's going to go near it.
Unless of course you're Pedro Pascal.
He's one of the people.
right?
He's one of the people, I think, and this is going off of things I've been told. I think he is one of the people that went to bat for her, but couldn't. But we have a lot of people who haven't had a chance to react to this yet either. Sure. And we know Disney's slow moving when it comes to making decisions like this. Just go back to the James Gunn incident, for instance.
Well, there's a difference in that, like over at Marvel, they'll circle the wagons, right? They'll take care of their own.
They will, but in a sense, though, like Disney themselves proper have not yet commented on this. They have not officially said she is fucking fired.
No,
the only reason we know this
that's
is true is because the toys are being canceled and all that other kind of shit. Yeah.
But
they never announce anything. They've never made
No,
they don't want to
rebooting or
announce
anything.
this. What they do have is fucking Imagineers and other employees running their asses off over there.
I will say
They're not controlling that chatter at all.
That's not totally true either, because when James Gunn was fired, Alan Horn got out there in the media and said, no, we need to take action here. And then they basically put egg on his face a few months later when they rehired him. So A, whoever did this didn't want it to be known for that reason. And B, they also knew they were going to be under the gun, meaning that somebody was going to be gunning for them as well, because they knew they were doing something they shouldn't be doing.
What's crazy, though, Tom, is that we're sitting here with a comparable circumstance for someone as sweet and gentle as Gina Carano and comparing her to some shit like what James Gunn said.
I know, that's the sad part.
That's insane.
Regardless, it's the same kind of boat. Because you have two people, and again, and the reason I say this is there is still a situation here where Disney may turn around and try and bring her back, but she's going to tell them to go fuck themselves.
Oh, I certainly hope so.
And I hope they come crawling back to her. And that's why I feel like they haven't said anything yet. And Cameron, you can back me up or say, I think it'd be a different situation. But I think they're behind the scenes really trying to figure out what to do with this, because this is one of the worst things they've ever dealt with PR-wise. Because they're having a hard time putting themselves out on a limb, the media is right now, and trying to justify this whole thing. And that's what I'm saying. We have not heard anything from Disney high up proper. That one article.
We have an email. It was an email from some random PR black that was responding to a journalist saying, what's going on? There was never an official statement.
Never.
And that's my point, is we've never had anything come out that was official enough. The only reason we know this is a fact of any kind is because of the Hasbro toys being canceled and all that kind of shit. And whoever this PR rep is, they talked to somebody else too, or somebody talked to somebody in that follow up. But they won't name because
Lorena, what are the odds of you throwing this shit up in the next stockholders meeting? Like, what are the odds of you bringing this question to the table, being like, "Look, what the fuck's going on with Gina Carano?"
Oh man, I have no idea. My question, when I get around to submitting it, it may not even get in the pot to get picked. But at the same time, who is to say there isn't somebody else ahead of me about to ask that same thing?
Yeah.
Because at those stockholders meetings, like the one last year, you had several people get up there and say, "I don't like what you're doing to Star Wars. You've lost the ability to tell stories. There's too much Roy, not enough Walt. What are your plans for Star Wars?" Because it's not the Star Wars that I remember as a kid. And that was a topic that happened repeatedly with people getting up to say. And it wasn't like huge stock owners. It's like people saying, I only own one share of stock. I drove 4 hours to get here, to get face to face to tell you what I don't like is happening to my mythologies, to the love that I have, for Disney, which goes back to this, because I don't know if I've even really explained this before. Disney is something that's been in my family for a long time. My mother grew up in this rural podunk, segregated town in Florida. Okay. They were dirt poor. They had one television, one show that they used to watch every Sunday was The Wonderful World of Disney. The whole family got around and watched that. And when news came out that Walt Disney was bringing a theme park to Florida, somewhere within driving distance that they could go and visit, they were excited as I don't know what. Opening day, my parents went, my grandparents went. 4 generations of my family have been on Disney property, grew up with Disney movies, grew up reading Disney books, all those mythologies. When I went into engineering, one of the coolest things that I ever heard was, what is an Imagineer? Okay, I have this book.
Oh, what a great name too.
It had that book because it's not just science. It's not just technology. It's art. It's storytelling. It's all of that, which is why Walt came up with that term called an Imagineer. And that's what I wanted to be until maybe 3 years ago, when the worst trip that I ever had at Disney World happened December of 2018. Why? Ask me why.
Oh, girl, I could totally tell you because their give a damn is busted. That's why.
Completely. I have never in my life been to Disney World where there's trash all over the place, where it's wall-to-wall people, where the prices are so astronomical, you can hardly save to go there. And granted, I'm not that bad off at all. And I'm just like, this isn't freaking worth it. Attractions not working. Surly freaking cast members who are pissed because their hours are getting cut. If they were getting hours at all.
Yep.
Okay.
Girl, I went back in 2019, right? That was the last time. We spent 3 weeks up in Florida. My mom and I have talked about this before. We spent 3 weeks. 2 of those weeks were at Disney. 1 was at Universal. God, if I could have flipped that in a heartbeat, I would have flipped that. I actually asked the lady when we're like a week into this, we are miserable as hell. My parents are spending an arm and a leg for this vacation. And it is absolutely awful. We're getting into fights with cast members over where to park scooters. You can't park it here. Man, there's nowhere to put this damn scooter. Where would you like? Well, we'll put it up there. A general point and a general, okay, I'm going to go over here. 5 arguments later about where to put a fucking scooter. I look at a different cast member and I'm like, ma'am, are you okay? Like, are you having a good time? And she looks at me and she goes, no, I'm hot. I'm sweaty. I'm out here in the heat. There's not a chance to go get a drink. I'm miserable. And no, I'm not having a good day. And I felt so bad for her because of what it must have taken, what kind of a mood she must have been in Disney World, admit that to someone. Right?
Exactly. Imagine a cast member telling you, okay, I can barely afford to put gas in my car. And it's not that I live down the street. I live 50 miles away. And sometimes I have to sleep in my car overnight because I can't afford to go home. And you hear stories like this, and I'd never heard anything like that before when I would visit Disney because the cast members were pretty much happy. They were happy to interact with you. And you hear these stories over and over again to the point where people like me who used to drop a lot of money at these parks were not doing it anymore. An annual pass I could have dropped $1,500 on. I didn't. I bought one from Universal Studios and I'm enjoying the hell out of that.
Good.
Do not stay on, don't stay on property anymore. They've taken all that stuff away. And now, okay, it's hard enough being a hardcore Disney fan, but you add being a Star Wars fan in there, you're getting screwed two ways from Sunday. So we'll go down to this article here. So this Disney Imagineer, Chris Kidder, celebrates the firing of Gina Carano. Now, one thing that I want to say about this guy, okay, there's the tradition of the Disney Imagineer. For actually, for example, Joe Rohde, okay, he's one of the old school Imagineers. He built, when I say built, conceptualized everything, Disney's Animal Kingdom. That place is one of the most amazing places I've ever been.
It's gorgeous.
It's gorgeous. If you have ever been in an animal conservation, you are in heaven at that place. It's culturally amazing. It's wonderful. Now, I don't agree with Joe Rohde's politics. He's left. I don't care about that. But he does care about the Disney experience, and he does care about Disney quality. And this guy got pushed out, which is why he's working for Virgin Galactic now, along with another old school Imagineer, because people like this guy, who has no regard whatsoever for the legacy of Disney and the Disney experience, starts putting this crap on here on Twitter. So let's go down here and find out some more about this person. So this is from
Pirates and Princesses.
This is from Pirates and Princesses. You know, they're part of Clownfish TV, and
that's fantastic.
The person who wrote this article is WDW Pro. Now, if that name sounds familiar to you, Doomcock has used him as a source. He's over on the WDW Magic forums. Now, granted, they do post rumors and stuff like that, but this guy was spitting out information about how much the Rise of the Resistance was, you know, a crap sandwich, and turned out a lot of that stuff happened true. So now he's writing for Pirates and Princesses. And if we go down here, recently we were alerted to a Disney Imagineer who was mocking Disney park fans who took issue with the barges in the Showcase Lagoon, well, World Showcase Lagoon, that really damaged the beauty of Epcot. So just to kind of back up a little bit here, how he's dissing fans. Epcot used to have look. It looks like a freaking Stargate,
it
right?
Does.
This is what I said. I said
the portal to the seventh circle of hell.
Yeah. Not exactly an exaggeration there. There's symbolism.
Symbolism and reflection, right, or projection, right there. There you go.
That massive ass eyesore in the middle of fucking Epcot.
For their new fireworks show, which I didn't think there was anything wrong with the old fireworks show. It was awesome, right? This big, huge eyesore. Okay, so it used to be when you're at Epcot, no matter where you were on the World Showcase, you had
this. Any other country.
See any other country get beautiful, absolutely beautiful shots. And you can't do that because this big freaking eyesore is in the way. So people like me who aren't huffing the Disney pixie dust are like, no, this is freaking ugly. You need to freaking get rid of it.
That was sort of the point, right? The whole point was that it was this interconnectivity from one part of the world to the other, right? That was the beauty of Epcot, was that you could look across the pond and see anywhere and go anywhere. And it was the actual kind of diversity that everybody loves to fucking tout. And you just swim, just gut sucker punched that shit with this giant ass eyesore because you can't fucking do your damn job.
You see, but there's symbolic reasoning to this. You know, look, people say conspiracy theorists. I've been in this town 20 years. I've been told on projects to put symbolic stuff on by people who have agendas. So I know that's real. Okay. So this thing looks like, you know, an Illuminati eye, right? It looks like the eye of Sauron. And it's exactly doing what you're describing. It is blocking your view of different countries, right? Look at the world that we're in right now. You can't travel, right? You can't go to another country without a huge hassle. So the world we're in, dark forces want us all to be in a very controlled environment and not connected with each other. So there's symbolism there. That's very interestingly, parallel to events that are happening.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's creepy
And
that you point that out.
Yeah.
Oh, I agree wholeheartedly. It's conditioning. This is conditioning.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's for pretty. It's like I have to, because Morocco
Is that
is my
Morocco
favorite.
right there?
Yes,
Morocco's
There's
so
a minaret
pretty.
right there.
that is my favorite place to visit. Granted, I have ancestral ties also to Morocco. One of my favorite things to do is to go to the Morocco Pavilion. That's my favorite. You look out there, you can see the World Showcase, not with this freaking eyesore in the way.
Nope.
And Disney. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, it's an interesting thing. Again, I'm bringing all this mysticism because that's who I am. I mean, that's why I was suspended, right? But that building there, I've been to Morocco, and that's modeled on the Kutubia Mosque in Marrakesh, which I've been to. Kutubia means the place of the booksellers. It was the largest open bookstore on the planet until modern times, right? And it was outside that mosque in the plaza. It's built on that, and so there's an interesting thing that that your eye is now taken away from this very beautiful Moroccan building to this ugly thing. In Mecca, in my own spiritual tradition, there's this massive, ugly, Big Ben style clock tower that hangs over the Great Mosque of Mecca. And its entire purpose is for you to not look at the Mosque of Mecca and to look at this incredibly repulsive skyscraper that looks exactly like Big Ben. Right? Like, why is this English Big Ben hanging over the Grand Mosque of Mecca? And it's because sinister forces don't want you looking at the spiritual stuff and the beautiful ancient stuff. They want you to look at this ugly eyesore. Your eye is drawn to it, whether you like it or not. Your eye is drawn to it. And that's what's happening.
Mm-hmm. Well, at the bare minimum, like non-worst case scenario is that they're inept, right? Like the very biggest benefit of the doubt that you can give these people is that they are completely inept at their job, and they are so far removed from the intent of a place like Epcot that they actually allowed this to happen, right? They actually allowed this giant ass thing to inhibit you or prohibit you from doing the very thing that you are supposed to be able to do in Epcot. That was literally one of Walt's things, right? Was one of his biggest things was being able to look across and see any part of the world from any part of the world to bring this interconnectivity together. They've lost, these people are so far removed from the original intent of Epcot, from what Epcot's entire purpose is, that they actually let this happen. That's the biggest benefit of the doubt that you can give them, is complete and utter ineptitude.
But it's interesting. Exactly. And to add to that, it's interesting because, again, people like me who aren't huffing pixie dust and are like, this is crap. We don't like this. This is disgusting. What the heck were you thinking of? This dude, up here, decides to troll us about it. Okay.
You mean the guy who can't do his damn job?
Yeah, the guy who can't do his damn job has the nerve to basically say, how dare you not like it? And, and make fun of, the Disney fans who are like, no, we don't like this. So
and shoot his fucking trap off about Gina.
Exactly.
What did he say about Gina? How did he connect this to Gina?
So here's what happened. But it didn't take us long to find out that this Imagineer had some revealing tweets about Gina Carano that may give us insight into the view within the company. This doesn't appear to be a low-level employee either. He has had correspondence in his Twitter feed with the legendary former Imagineer Joe Rohde. So what I showed you before. So what this is to basically say is not only is it Lucasfilm employees that are throwing shade at Gina on Twitter, you also have Disney employees. And we're talking about Imagineers work on stuff in the parks. Okay. So this isn't about a show on Disney Plus. Now you're getting to the point where it's really real for people. It's, people have designed the parks. So here's one of the tweets here.
Well, I was just going to say, this is what we were talking about when we're like, goes beyond Lucasfilm. This goes beyond Disney. This is everywhere. These people have infiltrated just about every corner of Hollywood. And I'm sure Cameron can back me up on that as well.
Yes, they have.
Well, in every aspect of the experience, even at Disney, right? It's really bizarre when you can sit a person who is so inept at their job that they're capable of allowing something so disgusting and intrusive to invade a space like Epcot, to have the balls to sit there and critique someone like Gina, who made me sit there and cry when I realized that her character, Cara Dune, is a survivor of Alderaan. right? Like what the hell? What have you brought me other than a dismantling of the experience of Epcot? While she has brought me an absolute endless amount of joy with her depiction of Cara Dune.
That's probably true. Mary cries about everything.
Oh my God. God forbid I sport a little estrogen, Tom.
Everything. I mean, it's constantly squirting.
Wow. That's what he said, she said? And there's got to be an innuendo there somewhere. I'm sure.
Oh, there's one there.
Hey, phrasing.
So there's like two tweets here. Okay, so the first one, if Lucasfilm can make sure Gina Carano won't be in another Star Wars related project, 100 U.S. senators can make sure Donald Trump is never allowed to hold public office again. So there's one. And there's the other. Thank you for doing the right thing, Lucasfilm. Okay, so to find out what those are, and I know I'm sorry, this is a little blurry. So here's the first one. He quotes a tweet from Deadline about Lucasfilm calls Gina Carano's social media posts abhorrent. So we've seen this article. So thank you for doing the right thing, Lucasfilm. And this dude is a Disney Imagineer. Okay, doing this.
Well, and in case you were questioning what Gina was saying about the bullshit that she's getting from people inside of Disney, yeah, this is like they're not even trying to hide it.
No. It's out there. And if you have the right politics, which obviously this person has, they're not going to say anything or do anything. Or do anything whatsoever. So it's just it's crazy. It's crazy. But this is Disney that we're talking about here.
This is an absolute nutcase, by the way. If you scroll down to the shit that they've got going on in their Twitter feed, this person's an absolute nutcase.
I looked at the Twitter feed. It's a terrifying place.
It's nuts. It's absolutely nuts. So WDW Pro continues. He says, looking at this person's Twitter feed, I've got to say, this reminds me of researching the individuals in the Story Matters group that is working on such grandiose concepts as labeling the Muppets as racist. So, Lucasfilm has their story group, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Disney has something called Stories Matter. And this is the group who's doing such things as retheming Splash Mountain, retheming the Jungle Cruise.
Here's what I don't understand is, look, I get it. Like honestly, I feel like the Princess and the Frog should have had a ride a long ass time ago. But you didn't need to take it away from Splash Mountain, right? Like you didn't need to take it away from I give Princess and the Frog a ride. You got a lot of room running around there. Like you fucking own so much of Florida. Give Princess and the Frog a damn ride, but don't take Splash Mountain and refurbish it to do that. Like, I'm sorry, that still gets my goat. I love Princess and the Frog.
It's just, and here's the thing. I tell people this all the time. It's like Splash Mountain was based on Burr rabbit tales, which were Black folk tales that were told in the South. My grandmother told me those same tales. So to me, it's like you're throwing out authentic Black culture. You're throwing out that particular history so you can retheme it with something else just because you want to be woke. Now, if Disney said, you know what, that's kind of outdated, we should probably update it, we'll put in Princess and the Frog. I don't think anyone would have had a problem with that. But Disney decided they wanted to go with woke points. And I've had to fight with people on Diz Twitter about this repeatedly when they'll say it's racist. What's racist about it? Oh, well, it's the depictions and how they speak. I said, that's how my grandparents used to speak. So are they racist?
Exactly.
That's how they spoke then. It's history.
Exactly.
That was the style back then, like the slang back then, or the accents.
But
all of that.
They have to take today's standard and place it on yesteryear, right? They have to do that. Everything that came before has no right to exist in and of itself. It all has to adhere to today's standard, right? This is it. This is where we stand, right? And they have no ability to step outside of that very small box and look at things from a different perspective.
And I find this funny that they have the Story Matters group. I think I shared the article. I'm not sure. I'll share it if I haven't again. But there's an article saying that Disney Lucasfilm needs to get control of their story group. That's
Huh.
and their novels and stuff. So they want to bring back control of that. And I was like, that's very odd to say. So what are you saying? You don't have control of your own lore? And who is, taking care of this? Or what is going on here? So there's a lot of different things going on inside. Okay, Tom.
I have no idea what just happened.
What have we been telling you guys?
I'm a
So
little
I'll share that.
lost.
I'll share that again. But it was very odd because they've used many of the novels to like recorrect or rewrite or try to explain the ST and other parts of their properties that they didn't produce very well. And this is then of course they take out the story information, and this is regarding Mandalorian. They decided to not produce the encyclopedia that includes the Mandalorian, and this was like 6 months ago that they decided not to do this, mind you. So think about it. And they decided not to produce it because there were so many stories coming out and there's so many changes going on with not only the Mandalorian, mind you, but other stories as well.
So wait, what? This is the Lucasfilm Story Group, or which
this
group
is
is
Lucasfilm
this?
Story Group. Yes.
They need to fire them. Just
You have another level here, though, and I don't know if this is what you were going to bring up, camera, but they got this new group of people or whatever over at Disney that are going through and making sure everything's more woke.
That's this group right here.
Okay, that's what this is. Okay, that's the Story Matters
exactly
group.
what this is. Yeah.
Shut the fuck up! I went and had a snack. Okay.
So so this group is it came into existence late 2020, early 2021. The Stories Matter group.
This is the woke group, right? These are the ones that everything has to go through now in order to make sure that it meets that sort of diversity and inclusion standard, right? Okay, I'm tracking.
Yeah, with and this is the wokeness that's being engineered for the parks. For example, the Jungle Cruise ride. We all know it's a product of its time. It's cheesy as hell. It's outdated. We all know that. We're not stupid.
And
however,
I like the little alligators. They have animatronic alligators. Where you got real gators running around all over the place. It's
I
so
like
ridiculous.
the hippos. I like the guy with the shrunken heads trying to sell them to you. It's like it was one of those kitschy theme type of rides. But again, we know it's a product of its time. We're not stupid. And if anything, it provides a great teaching moment to talk about the differences in generations, but they decide they can't trust us. So they're going to redo the Jungle Cruise. So, instead you got chimpanzees on the little barges.
They're doing
now
it for Peter Pan too.
Yep.
As I understand it, they're taking out the whole red man, what make the red man red thing or whatever. And like, I agree with that wholeheartedly. You don't trust us to be able to look at something like that and go, okay, that's kind of fucked up. Like, why is that? Why is it that you can't trust us as evolving people to look around us and go, okay, so it's probably a good idea to treat people with a measure of decency and respect, and to not use just kind of degrading words about people, right? Like, I don't, I'll be a little bit transparent here. I don't like the term white trash or trailer trash, and that hits really home with me because I grew up in a trailer park, right? I grew up in a very poor household where there were times where we didn't have running water or electricity because we were just that poor. It actually, and that's the reason why you don't hear me talk like Mandy is because not because I think that there's something inherently wrong with it now as an adult, but because as a kid it was a stigma thing, and I wanted to shed that stigma, and it was something now as an adult, after having worked for so many years to try to rid myself of that particular type of speech way, your accent or whatever, I kind of regret it because my family talks a certain way and I don't sound like my family. My family's not ignorant. My family isn't stupid. They're not stupid people, right? But because I felt the weight of a stigma, I shed something that is important to the culture of my family, right? And I don't don't get to take that back, right? I don't get to turn around and go back and change that because it's done now, right? You shouldn't just call someone something because you don't understand what that does to them, right? You don't understand how that can impact them. We as people I think we're evolving in a wonderful way. We have gotten to a place where we learn to talk to each other with dignity and respect and decency, right? We've learned to do that. Why don't you trust us to be able to do that, Disney?
Well,
And then can I add something real quick? So speaking on the native spectrum here, on the native end, we are finally getting leeway with, getting some mascots taken care of while others, are, they're meeting with us and it all goes with how the term like redskin and stuff was used in the past and everything. And we've been fighting this way long before this woke culture came about. We've been fighting it since the 70s and 60s. I've watched family and friends and other people in native communities and on the reservations highly speak out against it and saying this is not how we want to be represented. And so it took us a very long time to make that leeway and stuff. So it's not like we're canceling something. It's basically we're saying we don't want to be represented that way. I've had people say, well, then what about the Fighting Irish? I'm like, I can't speak for them because I'm not Irish. We just don't want the stigma and the stereotypes and the racism that people perceive when they go and, and either, play against these mascots, native mascots, or try to represent them. And I think there's a huge difference, and there needs to be that understanding. There needs to be that talk. And so, them taking out that, what makes the red men red thingy like that, I do have an understanding, that it can make some of us feel uncomfortable. And it needs to, and so that's us. Just like Lorena said, this is how my family was in the South growing up. And this is stories and fables and mythos or whatever that they've been sharing with us. I get that too. So she's saying this is not harming us. However, on my spectrum, there's a lot of times, like I said, that we felt degraded.
So would you think that it's a good idea to remove that from the, because it's not like it didn't happen, right? Yeah. That's the only thing I can do is ask you, Alora.
Yeah, exactly. Conversation.
Do you think removing this aspect of it is a good thing because it doesn't change that it happened, because for me I feel like it's a good thing to leave in because it's an opportunity to teach our kids, right? Like, okay, so yeah, you see this, that's something that they used to do. We don't do that anymore, right?
Yeah, I think we should keep it with history, but like with how they portray it, how they portray us in mascots and stuff. I think that it was smart for them to do that because then it shows that, they're being respectful, mindful, but keep that in history books.
Almost to kind of speak, and this is another side of that, because actually, I know Laura and I have talked about this on Twitter, the Florida State mascot, which is the Seminole Indian. And that's actually done in conjunction with the Seminole Indian Nation, because for Florida, the Seminole Indian Nation is as integral to the history of Florida as anything else. And that is something that's culturally revered. You're not allowed to disparage that whatsoever. And it's done in full conjunction with the Seminole Nation. So that's just kind of just like, and we talked about that, because it's like for that mascot, it's a symbol of respect. And I don't even want to call it a mascot because it's an icon, and we're on the state flag, and it's you can't separate that from the state of Florida at all.
Yeah. And we did discuss that. And I do agree, like the Seminoles, that with the state or with the university, they work that out. So they're doing, they're basically creating a respectful ground for that. And then, we're talking about mascots in general. So, like a lot of like the Redskins, Washington Redskins being changed. And then, like some natives I know in the native community, they're like, well, what about the Chiefs? And we're like, first of all, their mascot's a wolf. Second of all, the arrowhead, we weren't the only indigenous people who use that. Third, the Chiefs is basically just another statement or term for leader. And so none of that's racist. And so what the
Redskin has an implication. It's certainly how white settlers denigrate.
Yes.
It was the
Yeah.
N-word they were using against the indigenous when they encountered them, right?
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. And so the franchise basically said, if you're going to come in with these fake headdresses and stuff and misrepresent them and disrespect them, we're not going to have you bring that regalia in and stuff like that. So they stopped that. But, so there's those little middle grounds that are being shown and done. And like Lorena said too, as well, with Florida University, they went ahead and had that respect and talked with the tribes and created something that was respectful.
Well, and I think oh, go ahead. Sorry, I thought you were done.
Oh, no, you're fine. Go.
I was just saying, I know another part of this, and I don't know if Lorena remembers this conversation we had. I believe it was on a Toxic Femme episode where I brought up, to me, it seems like it's almost a detriment to the Black community and Black history, the way they treat Song of the South, because there's so much of it that, at the time, like I brought up the fact that it was kind of progressive for Disney to do that story. And the fact that they're kind of keeping that down. I know you said, Lorena, like you remember a lot of those same kind of stories being told to you. And I'm like, won't they get lost to time because they're trying to basically beat down this film? And even though, it may not be as racially sensitive, that's something that came out today. But I brought up the point that the fact that Disney even made that film and put those stories in there was so progressive for the time. And I think people are really overlooking that. And if I remember right, I think you agreed with me, but correct me if I'm wrong.
No, I did, because that movie that came out, I actually remember watching that movie with my grandparents. And watching that movie is what made my grandmother told me, oh, I used to tell your dad some of these Burr Rabbit stories. He kind of got in trouble of telling them, at school. And that part is lost. That whole history is lost because those Burr Rabbit stories weren't told just to take up airtime, weren't told just to pass the time. Those stories were told by oppressed people to be proud of their culture and
part of the mythology you created.
Exactly. Part of the mythology. And also when you have a certain group of people telling you that your people are worthless, are useless, these characters are crafty and in control of their own destiny and getting over on other people and helping other people and showing that their particular craftiness. So to get rid of song, I find that the people who want to get rid of the Song of the South are uncomfortable with those depictions. And I'm sorry if you're uncomfortable, but you're being uncomfortable doesn't give you the right to destroy someone's culture, whether in history, in history, whether you don't like it or not. And honestly, I wish I had a copy of Song of the South because it is a teachable moment.
Lorena, I got a 35 millimeter print, like on digital. Like it's not that hard to find. I'll hook you up.
Oh, thank you.
Got the soundtrack and everything with it.
Shoot. Thank you. That actually, that brings back memories, actually.
Yeah, and you have a great point of like it's part of the culture, but mascots are not a part of our culture, and it doesn't.
No, that's a different argument, and I agree. I'm not trying to conflate the two in any way.
I know you're not.
Don't get me wrong at all, or on that one, Laura.
No, but I think in terms of like the discussion around like Disney or whatever, right?
I was bringing it back to Disney, and it just kind of reminded me of that conversation about how like these things are historical, and you guys were talking about how they're basically rewriting history. It's like you can't ignore history that happened, and you can't just fix it and rewrite it to make it safe.
No, you can't rewrite. Like Disney is a massive part of our culture, right? At least here in the Western world, specifically America, right? Like it's this massive part of our culture. I grew up, Peter Pan as a child was my favorite Disney movie. I could quote the entire thing, probably can still do most of it verbatim, including sound effects and songs. Could do the whole damn thing, right? And it's Disney is this massive part of our culture. You cannot rewrite it and expect people to just forget that this part existed, that this aspect of it existed. You can't make that go away because it did. What we can do is look at those aspects of it and go, okay, so this happened. It was real. And maybe at the time, it didn't seem like such a big deal, but now we know better, right? And that doesn't mean we can't enjoy the other parts of it, right? It doesn't mean that we can't enjoy the mermaids trying to drown Wendy and Tinkerbell. God, everybody tried to fucking kill Wendy. Everybody wanted to murder Wendy.
In the book, Tinkerbell is really evil.
Oh yeah,
In the book, she's trying to kill Wendy. She's really jealous and trying to kill her. I mean, the book is really dark.
The book's incredibly dark. Like, and people don't know this. Tinkerbell didn't live long, by the way.
And
Peter forgot about her completely. That was so tragic to me. I was like, he doesn't even care. Like,
It's dating in Los Angeles. That's all I can say. It's dating in Los
Angeles. Peter's an actual douchebag.
Oh, he is. Oh my god!
When you come to LA, you're romantic. You leave a douchebag who forgets yesterday.
Like I said, no relationship in LA is complete without a trip to the LA County court.
This is not.
Wow, I don't have that experience.
I think we all just need to take one moment and have just a quick puppy break.
Oh,
I think we need one.
Oh, look at him!
That
He's playing in the water. He's like,
why is that puppy white? Why is the puppy white? Why'd you make that?
Oh, it's white.
Choice there.
Why has he got to be a white puppy there?
I don't know. He's just playing in the water. Just look at the puppy playing in the water. I tried to.
He's so cute.
Get the Lysol.
He's so cute. Oh, so to move on with this article, again here, it says Chris Kidder's Twitter page for the past 6 months is post after post about how evil Trump and Republicans are and how incredible Joe Biden is. It's one thing to be political, but my gosh, we're not here to bash either Democrats or Republicans or to tell you one party is better than the other. But if you spend your days tweeting nonstop in a religious-like fervor, then something is not aligned well with the way you perceive the world and your life.
Okay, he just contradicted himself because we're not here to judge. But then again, if you keep on doing it, I'm going to judge your ass.
Wait, what? Well, no, I mean, I think what he's trying to say here is that we're not here to bash either Democrats or Republicans. It's not about what side is tweeting or what side you're tweeting. It's that you are nonstop tweeting.
Yeah, it's obsessive compulsive disorder. That's what we're facing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Anyone who follows me before I was kicked off of Twitter, I posted about religion, about politics, about Bigfoot, about UFOs, and I posted a lot of pretty girls. So, it was a variety. So it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, mostly it's, a personality type of style with stuff that, the stuff that you tweet. And that's pretty much expected. But it's like when you're going like a bot, and this is just something you're like obsessed about, not like sharing, like we usually do on Twitter. Look at this BS that happened. Okay, I'm going to put this here, show this here. But they're just nonstop, just ragging on people. That's
true.
It's like a descent into madness. It's like an obsession. Like when these people take Gina's posts and just start twisting it around, it's like they can't let it go.
Well, it is a religion. Most of my colleagues in this industry are not religious, right? And are actually quite hostile to faith, right? And as a result, they have got this void that they fill with the woke mantra of the day. And it's literally that. It's their mantra. That's what's happening, is repetition. It's a spiritual pathology they're going through.
Mm-hmm.
So.
It's just,
and then it gives Data Racer a job to do on Twitter to collect.
Yeah, that's true. I wonder what he's captured because he's been kind of quiet.
Yeah, we're gonna see a whole mess of it come up. Watch.
So, to kind of wrap this up, basically, this person is talking about how this particular crop of talent, like the Imagineers, they're not the ones that are putting their talent out there over their politics, and they're not purposely going out here pissing off half of the population with their tweets. They're not doing that, but you have this new crop of Imagineers who don't care about that. But to wrap it up, he says, so there you go. When you go to Disney parks, just remember, people like Chris don't seem to believe people with opinions similar to Gina Carano should be allowed to work for Disney. And I'm amazed they haven't outright told guests of similar views they're not welcome in Epcot or Magic Kingdom, except they'll take your money to pay people like Chris Kidder.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I want to comment, Ben, about that group that you brought up, that this new group that's going through Disney to make it woke, right? I had said, and I think I've said it on Midnight's Edge as well, Tom, where after early last year, before all the events of last year, which feels like 10 years ago, right? When Birds of Prey was the big thing we were all talking about in those days. By then, Disney had figured out that woke was broke. They had figured it out. I was hearing from screenwriter friends that they were getting the word Disney is a for-profit company. We don't care about this woke crap anymore. We just want to make money because we've had a bad couple of years, right? And then the events of last year happened, and now they're pushing this group. And the thing is, I can promise you, the people that may have deluded themselves that the audience wanted this crap now know the audience doesn't want this woke crap. But because of the political events of the last several months and who is the current president, they feel terrified and politically obligated to do this thing that they know is going to make them lose money. That's how insane it is.
Yeah, well, I mean, they're backed into a corner, but they backed themselves into that corner,
Well,
right?
not only that, now they feel empowered. They got bailed out. They've been knocking them out left and right. Gina was just the latest in a list of how many now.
I mean, in terms of being canceled,
yeah, exactly.
That's
what I'm saying. And I'm sure she's not going to be the last. But what the difference between Gina and a lot of the other ones is, you finally have a situation where they picked on the wrong one. You know what I mean? And I kind of felt this way when Rick Moranis got sucker punched. That was kind of like my moment where I'm like, look, enough's enough. What did Rick Moranis ever really do besides that third Honey, I Shrunk Ourselves movie to really deserve anything like that? That was a joke, folks. You can laugh. You didn't have to laugh. Please don't. But if you don't want
That's
to,
up there with Bill Burr's best comedy, my friend. It's up there.
No. But I just got to this point where I'm like, okay, this is clearly just gotten out of hand. And of course it got out of hand before that with a lot of the mostly peaceful protesting and some of the other shit we were dealing with in this country. But not to go down that rabbit hole, but I think that this whole Gina thing being that who she is, and it's so difficult to hate her. You know what I mean? There's so many people who are like, I don't agree with what she said, but I still don't believe she should have been fired.
That's a friend of mine who is a liberal producer, who's a liberal Jewish producer, called me after this happened because he knew that I was talking to Gina on Twitter or whatever. And he said, you know what? I knew exactly what she meant by that post. And I understand what she meant. And I support the idea, but I will never publicly say that. I'm just saying that to you. I will never publicly say it because it will put me in the wrong light as well.
Exactly.
But he said one thing which surprised me. He said, I think she's a sweetheart. I've never worked with her, but all I've heard is that she's a really wonderful person, and I'm a fan, and I'm sorry this is happening to her, but I'm never going to be able to say that publicly.
Yeah, and Captain Robert, right? April's right. All he really deserved for that was a good smack across the face at worst.
Well, I want to hear from Mandy because we've been talking about her.
She hasn't said a damn word. What the fuck?
No, she's just over there trolling
Your accent. I used to have a Brooklyn accent, and like Mary, I pulled it out because I was an elitist who wanted to escape my roots. So yes. So let's hear Mandy speak and give a perspective in a truthful accent.
Yes.
Hold on, I'm not an elitist.
I'm an elitist. It's okay. I was born too in Brooklyn. I hated my accent. I changed it. So Mandy, share us your perspective. You got all these nice pink toys behind you.
I do. Well, I think it's about right. That's what they do, right?
That's a politically very savvy answer.
Yeah, I mean, Gina did nothing wrong. I still stand by. I can't imagine anybody reading any of her tweets and looking at them. They were looking for something. She did nothing wrong. Absolutely nothing wrong. Disney now kind of sucks. The Mandalorian, I will not watch now. And I have not complained about it yet, but I'm going to take this moment to do so. Why are they not making proper Disney? Not making new movies? Why are they just doing these woke ass piece of shit live versions of the cartoons that were good?
Because
why can't we do nothing good?
I will tell you why, Mandy. Because they make money. Because as much as we all acknowledge that the live action Lion King is a carbon copy of the original magic of the Lion King. shaking, right? We all acknowledge that, but it still made a ridiculous amount of money.
I know, right? And I love how you said live action, because you could tell that was like you were putting it in those stupid quotations. Because I hate that whenever I see that.
You learn to control your accent. You get to talk through your
I love that. It's like, because I've said that when it first came out. It's like, how can people call this shit live action? It's not like Jon Favreau was sitting there with a steak in front of the lion going, here, motherfucker, act. Come on.
Right?
Act.
It's so bad. It's so Disney's just going down the dumpster. And I'm with Lorena. Like, I loved Disney. I grew up on Disney. I just adore. I mean, and I'm a girly girl, so all the princesses and that I was all down for that. Now it's so bad. I don't even want my kids watching it. Just not any of the new stuff, anyways.
Wait,
I'll pull out the old DVDs. Yeah.
Okay, I never knew that. Okay, you have kids. Okay.
She doesn't talk about it live on air very often, Cameron, because she likes them alive. She doesn't want Disney coming up behind her kids with the cordage.
Right? I kind of like them, so I usually don't discuss too much, but yes, I do, and I don't want to watching new Disney. Yeah, I think it's disgusting. The whole situation. It's absolutely disgusting. But yes, you guys in the chat who have said it, believe me, I know my accent. I walk on eggshells.
Oh, whatever. You wear that thing with pride.
I hear your accent, and again, I just think about my relatives in Florida because they sound just like that.
You wear it with pride, girl.
They were saying they're going to come for people with Southern accents soon. So
there's only one accent that's not sexy, and that's the Pakistani accent. It does not really attract the girls. I try, but it doesn't work.
What are you talking about?
What are you talking
about?
about? That was good.
Yeah, I don't think there's really a bad accent. It's just a bad voice.
No, there's no bad accent on girls. On girls, every accent is sexy. On guys, every accent is stupid. It's just
I don't know.
Well, that's just a preference.
For those in the chat who are from here, I am so sorry. I do find a Boston accent to be slightly offensive. Those are.
I agree.
Those are bad. They're bad accents. They're
well.
We talk about Boston. Like the Tea Party. Some dudes they LARPed as a bunch of Native Americans, and they started a civil war. They put it on you guys, Laura. They did it to you.
Let's be real.
America.
I will
blame the savages. Blame them.
I would concede on that because when somebody's got a Boston accent, you can't help but sound like you're an asshole, right? Like how do I get to the pizza place? Oh, you got to go to the pizza place. Well, fucking look at you. You're some big, huge. What do you know? Like you got to go down here. You know that Einstein.
Could you imagine that
all those poor guys in the Boston Tea Party dressing up as Native Americans with like painting their faces red and shit? I mean, and they had that shitty accent. Could you imagine that?
I'm the chief here. You know what I mean?
Can I pull on my Irish heritage here a little bit and point out that I've never heard a person with an Irish accent also not sound a bit like an asshole.
Yeah, but we're cute though.
But they sound like leprechauns. I mean, how's an asshole?
You hear him say the fucking word every 2 seconds, right?
Like, come on, even fuck that's cute. That's a cute way of saying fuck. Come on.
A girl in English. I'm sorry. I heard someone with a thick ass Irish accent when I was in London once, and I couldn't figure out what the hell he was saying.
Oh yeah.
I'm just like, I'm sorry. I can't understand you.
I find I'm a vocal person. I do voices and shit. I love accents. All right, I love them. I love them. I embrace them. You know what I mean? Even minor accents. You know what I mean? Like so. Like I love our differences, and that's why I.
So you could have been on Simpsons before it went woke.
Fuck yes, I could have totally.
Paint yourself yellow. You should be okay.
Yeah, I love that was my favorite joke that everybody was bringing up. It's like we're really worried about the brown guys on the show where everybody's fucking yellow. Seriously,
the tragedy when Apu was removed. As someone from the subcontinent, Apu is actually a figure that a lot of people in the community loved. We grew up with him.
Yes.
He's a sympathetic figure. He's the only non-asshole in the city, the town of asshole.
Pretty much. And not only that, he's one of the smartest guys in town, too.
Exactly.
The only reason he works at the Quickie Mart is because of obligations and shit. Like, we've learned that throughout. He has had And that's what I thank you for saying that, Cameron, because I brought that up when it first came out, and everybody agreed with me. But of course, I didn't have anybody with a remotely close of enough background to speak on it or back me up on it. But like I said, you look at this where we had, and nothing but TV, you've had nothing. Either if anybody's Indian descent, they're either a fucking terrorist, a doctor, and that's it, or a cab driver, right? Like, why is Apu so bad? Yes, he's in that stereotypical role of owning a gas station, but we know why. They explain to us what the situation is.
I've met the real life Apus.
Thank you. And that's what I was going to say. I went to school with people who they were like of Southeast Asian descent. One family was from Bangladesh. They owned like a 7-Eleven. We all knew them. I went to school with their kids. It was expected. It was nothing out of the ordinary. That's why I don't think the South is not up to.
Well, there are 4 gas stations within maybe a 4 or 5 mile radius here, and 3 of them are owned. Like I don't understand, why is that? It's reality.
It's a sign, and it's a sign of an entrepreneurial community. Remember, like people like Apu, like all these my family's generation, they were all trained as doctors and engineers and PhDs, and they couldn't get that work here in the United States. So they were survivors. They said, well, I got a little bit of savings. Let me buy this little store, and and they would pool their money together and create a gas station. They wanted to be a doctor. America didn't let them do that, right? So they went and did that.
I ain't mad at you. You know why? Because I don't have to go more than about a minute up the road to go get myself a bottle of vodka. No.
And not only that, like I said, Apu, like I said, he was a positive character. The only real downfall he had is he cheated on his wife one time, which makes him human.
He's human.
But regardless, and
that's the only unrealistic part, because I don't know any Desi guys getting laid. I don't know any.
Well, the thing is,
what really?
He was a very prominent, very positive character on that show. Where, like you said, Cameron, just about everybody else in that town is a complete moron or an asshole. Apu is one of the most of the characters that aren't technically quote unquote yellow in that show are actually some of the more positive characters, like Dr. Hibbert and stuff like that. Come on. I mean, why is it the Simpsons and the Simpsons ain't been the Simpsons for 10, 20 years anyway.
Nope.
Yeah. So who gives a shit at this point? The show just needs to end. But all they did though, Cameron, and this is what I pointed out, is instead of lifting this character up, they ended up shoving him to the background. He's basically non-existent now. So good job, folks. That's what you accomplished.
Talking about fan.
I'm sorry.
Were we talking about?
No, but you can apply that to anybody. Thank you, Mandy. Like that's the whole point. Is as soon as they make this big deal about something, that's what's going to happen to Dr. Hibbert. Now that they've recast him, he's not going to show up in any of the shows now.
Can I just say at Universal Studios in Florida, the Quickie Mart store is one of the most popular places to get stuff from.
No shit, right? Well, that whole thing when they did the movie, they turned a whole shitload of 7-Elevens into Quickie Marts. Remember that?
I do. That was so cute. I wish I could have found one so I could get a picture, but I don't know where one was.
But this brings down to this entire, and I say this as a person of color, this entire woke movement is fundamentally a racist movement. It is a movement meant to eradicate people who are not the majority culture, and it's left them at this weak, humiliated, here's a white savior that's going to keep you down, and we're even going to take your pictures away. I can't even look at Uncle Ben on a rice box, right? Who was a very successful, she wasn't a slave, she was a very successful businesswoman that it was modeled after, but your projection of you're dealing with the mammy character. I was like, no, this is a real woman who was a successful.
Thank you, Cameron. Yeah, it's the same thing with Dr. Seuss. They have no sense of history. They know one thing and then they key in on it and they don't actually do any research.
No.
Mm-mm.
They don't realize that, maybe Seuss had said and done some things that wasn't exactly, in vogue now, the time, but he also denounced a lot of the stupid shit he said and done too. Mm-hmm. There was a lot of people from that era they overlooked that part of, just like that John Wayne interview that they go after every time to try to cancel him with. And it's like, if you really take a step back and look at that interview, he's actually pretty progressive for the time period, especially somebody of his age.
And the man that he's been in all of his movies and the roles he's played, right? He has a persona, and it's an evolution past that. And the same thing can be said for Clint Eastwood, right? Who is Mr. Conservative icon, but actually, if you watch a movie like Unforgiven, you realize this guy is actually troubled by his own legacy, right?
Oh, absolutely. Well, and Clint Eastwood's a great example because he's always had diverse characters in his movies.
Mm-hmm.
Always, especially like trying to make sure, and I mean, please correct me if I'm wrong, Laura, but I thought he always tried to go that extra step to make sure Native Americans were always portrayed a little bit more accurate as well. I mean,
there were steps he's one of them that kind of was in the leading part and really stood up for us when we were saying, hey, we would love to have people cast that are actually Native American instead of being painted.
Yep.
Yeah,
and Outlaw Josie Wales is one that sticks out to me specifically as having great Native American I love that bit when she sneaks up, only an Indian can do something like that. He's like, yeah, you're right. Only an Indian could do something like that. And that chick's behind him and click.
And you know what show that probably will be canceled if they get their hand on it is Blazing Saddles.
They've been trying.
Well, thank God they're so stupid they've never heard of it. Thank God they're that stupid.
I know.
You know what? Actually, we just need to do a broadcast of that movie on every channel, every internet forum, everywhere, all at once, and let all their collective little heads explode and get rid of them all real quick. It'd be like that scene in Scanners.
I mean, where the white people are, just that moment, right?
Oh,
where the white women at?
Oh.
Where the white women at? Where the white women at? Right? I mean, but that's the genius of Mel Brooks is that he's willing to show how stupid we are as a human.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. The read on that alone, though, would like break all the glass.
It would be delicious.
It would, too. And it would be like that scene in Scanners. Their heads would just all blow up at once.
Right? Yes.
Yeah, we get rid of them real quick. Sorry, I shouldn't say that.
I actually believe this. One of the last things I posted on Twitter before they pulled me, right, was that I actually believe that 2021 is the year of comeuppance for the woke. They think they've won everything. It's that moment in Matrix 3, which isn't a great movie in my opinion, but it's made that moment when Smith actually defeats, he actually he beats him and he absorbs him, right? And that's the moment when the Matrix is able to pull the plug on him because it's finally connected to him, right? And so this is where we are because of the events of the last several months. The woke, fanatics now believe that they are in control of the cultural machinery at last, right? And they're going to overstep their bounds. Gina Carano was the beginning of that overstepping. There's more coming, and I think by the end of this year, we're going to be in a radically different cultural landscape where a lot of this is going to unravel on their faces. I think it's going to accelerate.
Yeah, you said on their faces.
Yeah. Well, Geeky Pixie says, "Love you all," and Cameron, I am sorry you got suspended.
Hey, Geeky Pixie.
And speaking of that, I think we should really get into some of these super chats. We've got a ton of them here to get through. We got to go all the way back up here to Crazy Eyed Jedi way back when. Sorry, you guys have been so patient and waiting patiently. I know that's redundant, but yeah.
Are we kicking them off then?
Yeah, go ahead with Crazy Eyed Jedi was the first one.
Crazy Eyed Jedi for $2. Since Valheim's second boss killed me after 14 hours.
I saw Az playing that, and I think he played for like 11 or 12 hours straight.
What?
It was like a non-stop stream. And I'm just like, wow, that's dedication.
Az is going to kill himself doing that shit. He's the only person I worry about more than myself killing himself on stream one of these days.
All right, so is it my turn? Or which way are we going?
I don't know what order we're doing.
It don't matter.
Laura, do you want to go?
You go.
Okay. Makani 90 for $5. Thank you so much. Good evening to all of you lovely ladies and Tom. Thank you. Thank you, Makani.
Oh, hi.
Thank you.
Wasn't it the Yugo, the one that with the tank that would blow up?
What?
The Yugo car?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, I just remember it because it's a joke in that movie, Drowning Mona.
I love that movie. Oh my gosh, I love that movie. That is like my favorite movie of all time.
Everybody in town drives a fucking Yugo.
Yeah, they're all driving those stupid Yugo. Even the police cars are Yugo. Yes.
Drowning Mona is one of the most underrated comedies of all time. And it's on Amazon right now, I think.
Is it really? Oh my god!
Yeah, I watched it like 2-3 weeks ago. I'm like, oh, this movie still holds up. I'm so happy because it's fucking hilarious.
Look, why are they playing Wheel of Fortune? What is
you wanted to buy a vowel, so I let you buy a vowel, but that wasn't enough. Then you had to have the free spin. You wouldn't get the free spin, and then that wasn't enough. You had to have the vacation, and you got the vacation to Acapulco, and that wasn't enough. What is it? What is it you need? I love that fucking movie. You know, sometimes in life you get potatoes, and you got to make potato salad.
Yeah, well,
life gave me a bunch of shit. Life gave me a load of shit. What did I make with that? Shit salad.
I have never seen that.
Oh fuck! I want half. None of this 50% bullshit.
What? BJ landscaping. You don't want to call him your blowjob landscaping, do you? Oh my god!
It feels
I
like
love
this
that
movie
movie, Tom.
one-liner after one-liner.
Oh, it is hilarious.
It is great. It is the best movie.
You guys have no idea if you've not seen it. The setup is it's got an all-star fucking cast. You've got Danny DeVito, Nev Campbell, Affleck's little brother, Casey. That's it. Casey Affleck. You got William Fichtner, and of course Bette Midler. And I can't remember the guy who plays his son, but he's hilarious too.
The girl from Halloween. What's her name? Where he does her boobs, the waitress.
Oh, I can't think of she's in it too. Yeah, and I can't think of her.
Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yeah, Jamie Lee Curtis. Yes. Yeah, Jamie Lee Curtis is in it, and it's an all-star cast. Okay, so the setup is that this town was a test site for the Yugo. So everybody in town has a Yugo, but that's a completely different story altogether. And that's how the movie starts out. So that just explains why everybody has a Yugo.
That's just what's happening there. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So but it's just an inside joke in the movie. That's all it is. It's like the whole movie is just one big fucking joke. But the setup of the movie is everybody in that town fucking hates Mona, who is Bette Midler's character. Right. And she ends up dying by driving off a cliff. And at first it looks like an accident, but it clearly isn't because her brake lines were cut and all this other shit was done. So they're like, well, somebody did it, but everybody in town's a fucking suspect because everybody has a reason to kill her. Yeah. So like the whole movie is the cop who's played by Danny DeVito just basically trying to figure out who the fuck killed her. And even if he did find out, would he really prosecute him kind of thing?
Yes. And more people keep ending up dead. And then they start accusing each other. It's great. It is one of the best. So
Orient Express is a comedy. It's Orient Express is a comedy.
Yes.
Kind of, yeah. Like Danny DeVito's like, this used to be such a quiet town. Now we've got like 3 dead bodies in the last 2 days.
I love that movie.
All right. I'm going to have to watch that then.
And of course, Nev Campbell it's a couple of years ago, so she's pretty young. And Casey Affleck are a young couple, and she plays Danny DeVito's daughter, and they're supposed to be getting married. So all this stuff is happening at the same time. And yeah, it's a hilarious movie.
It's great. It is a great movie.
I think Nev Campbell's greatest performance is Wild Things.
I love that movie.
Love that movie.
Many times.
Filmed in Florida.
You know, I watched that movie in the theater and we're like, holy shit, what is this movie? We're all like, is this a porn? It was like, what are we watching here? We had no idea. Like, wait a minute, that's The Sixth Sense? Porn to The Sixth Sense.
Yeah, Drowning Mona came out in 2000. I don't even know if the company that made it exists anymore. I'm trying to think of the name of it, but they made like Bats and a couple other movies way back when, and they distributed them through Sony. And that just happened to be one of their movies. And I don't know why it just kind of disappeared, but now it's back on Amazon again. And I've talked about it for years, and I had it on DVD, but it never been re-released. And I'm glad that it's back.
It's great, and I think Danny DeVito actually wrote and directed it.
I don't know. He might have. Really? Well, he produced it, but I don't know about.
I thought he wrote it.
He might have been one of the writers. He might have been one of the writers, but I know the director was not him. It was a different.
It wasn't him that directed.
Yeah,
it's so good though, you guys. Definitely check out Drowning Mona. Okay. It's worth a watch. It is funny. Oh my gosh, so good.
Don't everybody move. You all stay here. I'm gonna go save Jeff. And he takes off, and the whole fucking everybody else follows him. Do it, Jeff. Do it. I mean, don't do it, Jeff.
Oh my God! Look, the way they keep trying to figure out how he lost his hand. And there's all these stories. It's such a good movie.
So this is the Orient Express meets Pink Panther.
It's fucking hilarious, man.
It's great.
It is free on YouTube, but it's some shit version. They actually have a fairly decent version on Amazon, so it's like, Yeah, I'd check it out there if you
All
got
right, well, you
Amazon
got
Prime.
super chats. You got super chats.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah,
'cause,
we have super chats. You
Yeah,
guys.
but
Sorry,
you gotta
sorry.
think I'll
Tom
go
and I
ahead.
got on movies.
No,
Sorry.
we're just happy. Finally, Mandy spoke up. She
Yes.
finally spoke up. Go, I like
Mandy and I
Yeah.
love that movie. Evidently, we're the only ones
It's
who've
a
seen
good
it.
movie. Nobody
Okay.
ever talks about it with me because it's so like underground. Nobody's ever seen it. So when somebody else saw it, got excited. Okay, sorry.
All right, where were we here? We were
I
on
think Mandy's next.
Mandy.
Oh,
was
okay.
next.
Nelson the gentleman for $1.49, and he sent us a banana.
And the banana.
Banana.
Thank you.
All right, so we have Valiant and Renegade at
Yep.
$4.99. Thank you for joining us. Video today, Disney annual stockholder meeting next week. My money is on Kennedy's contract expiring this year.
Oh, I would love that.
Thank you so much.
Well, didn't you watch that, Lorena? And you said there really wasn't much in it, right?
No, it was just Morgan Stanley basically throwing softball questions at Bob Chapek. So nothing really that came out of that.
An utter waste of time, essentially.
Pretty
Mhm.
much. It's just, hey, we're Morgan Stanley. We love you, Disney. The only
So it's a
thing
good
that
thing I
came
took a
out-
nap.
Yeah, the only good thing that came out of that is possible talk about shortening the theater window, but whatever.
They're gonna do it anyway. They already have. Everybody's following along with that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So
Anyway,
actually, I want to share a
Yes,
rumor
please.
that I just heard today. A rumor that I heard today from a friend who's pretty well connected, whose rumors have often been right about Lucasfilm. And she said to me that she's hearing that that Chapek and Iger are pressuring Kathleen Kennedy on whatever the next shareholder thing is happening on March 9th, right?
Yeah, next week.
Yeah. The rumor she's telling me is that they're pressuring her to actually not make a statement because there's talk of her being pressured to make a statement. They're pressuring her to actually be on the call and take the heat, right? And if you won't take the heat, you're out because you have to be able to defend yourself. We're tired of defending you, and you have to be able to explain. And she's not if that is true, that's
if that is, she's getting thrown to the wolves.
yeah, because her whole career is about doing stuff in the shadows. The idea of being put in front of shareholders, she's never done that in her 40-year career. That would be the end. If that's true, that's them putting her out to be shot.
And we have the torches and pitchforks. That's the kind of crowd that's going to be at the
That's a forced resignation kind of thing. If that is true, if that is what exactly happened, try to force her out.
Would they really let it go down that way, though?
I don't know.
Yeah, who knows?
I mean, who knows? I believe Chapek is really angry.
Because she's not physically, again, this stockholders meeting is different. It's not in person.
Yeah.
It's
and I gotta imagine Bob Iger's even not too happy because that's what he came down to do was clean up her fucking mess.
Yeah. And they all know if we know what's going on, they know more of what's going on, right?
Mm-hmm.
They know they have a monster they can't control there. They know they've got a Leviathan that's her section, that's crazy pathological people. They know that. I've worked on shows where the studio knew the showrunner was an evil person, but they were afraid of this and that political reason until they could find the reason to pull the plug on that person, right?
Yep.
And it's just like they knew more than I did, and I thought I knew everything about how bad the situation was.
Yeah. And Captain Robert April, I think the Amber stuff is going to have to wait till next week. We didn't get our video dropped today anyway. It's dropping in the morning, so I think it'll keep till then. And anyway, if there's any more
we might have more
developments. Exactly. Yeah. So
we're already almost at the 3 hour mark.
We're almost getting to the point where we got to shut her down. So we'll get to that next week probably.
Do you want to grab the next super chat there, Cameron? I think
I can't see the super chat, so
he doesn't have. I got it.
Around me. I'm
on Hillis Mallory.
Hillis Mallory for $5. Oh my God! They canceled Gina. Wait. Oh my God! They canceled Gina. You bastards!
I think we skipped one. Elton Trace, 99-cent super stickers.
That was my fault.
Sleeping face, no problem. Grab.
That was my fault. Sorry about that, L Punk Trace. We got I hope you're not falling asleep.
I hope not.
That was a long time ago. You already be sleeping then.
Right? Do I go next or is it Alora?
It's you.
You're next.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Trace XL for $10. Hey, Trace. Thank you. The honest truth is that equality in most things in life simply isn't possible. People need to understand that and sort themselves accordingly. Your life will always be different experience to others.
See, I feel like that's true. You can't expect perfect equity, right?
No.
I'm not saying that things can't be generally equal, right? And we can certainly strive for that, and we should strive for that. But your life is never going to be perfectly equal to that of those
You
around.
can't have equality. What you can have is justice, which is a different thing. Which doesn't mean the world is just. It doesn't mean the system is just. It means that there are ways for you to address an injustice that is happening to you and try to get what was taken away from you, because that's all society can be. There's always going to be bad people in society. There's going to be rich people. There's going to be poor people. There's going to be people who have something that they don't deserve to have, right? And there's people that don't have something they deserve to have. That's the human condition, right? The difference between the ideal of this society and what it's turning into is that the ideal version of America is that, like I said, my parents came here, they lost everything. They went through humiliation, but the system allowed me to get multiple degrees and go become a Hollywood screenwriter, right? There was an upward mobility that allowed that injustice to be addressed, right?
Absolutely.
And once we lose that freedom, then it is people at the top telling us, oh, Cameron, I have now solved your problem for you, so don't aim any higher. I'm not going to let you have any more than that, right? You've gotten the solution. That's what the woke want to do when they talk about equity. They define what is equitable for you. They will hold you down to what they think is equitable, and you cannot transcend that, which is what America is in theory supposed to be about and has to a large degree been about, which is an ability to go beyond where you are. That's the only way you can have justice in this life.
Well, and there's another part of this that our buddy Comics Division gets into on his podcast that I recommend if you want to hear more about, because we're not going to get into it here, obviously, but where he talks about, this transition of wealth and all this shit. And it clearly, like, when people ask, well, how can they fund this stuff? How are they continuing to be able to do this when they're clearly losing money? I mean, it's obvious. This is how. Is they continue to change the rules and they make it look like they're doing something honorable or noble, when really all they're doing is taking from those who earned it and giving it to those who didn't, so they can continually fund this fucking insane movement, which, it's just going to keep dragging on as long as they keep getting money given to them. And unfortunately, at this recent turn of events, when it comes to the change of power in office, that's why they pushed all their movies back out, because they knew they were getting bailed out. And that's why when we said, this wokeness in Hollywood is not going anywhere fast, between the mostly peaceful protests this last summer and, the recent events, that's why they're not going anywhere. They're not changing. Nothing is going to change anytime soon until we change it. And that's where I think this thing with Gina is a big deal. It goes beyond Star Wars. It goes beyond Disney even. So it's almost like we're fighting for our art, for the soul.
We're fighting for civilization at this point.
Yeah, it's going beyond that, but as far as like where it comes in our purview here in Midnight's Edge, that's where unfortunately we have to, we don't go beyond that. But that's up to everybody else in the world. I can't speak to that.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and go on with our super chats. So Doyle Hargrave, $2. Thank you so much. This is towards Cameron. Cameron, I'll miss your hot chick spam on Twitter. Laugh out loud.
Right? Me too.
I do share them too. I share those too. I'm like, oh, look who shared.
Everybody likes
I have good taste. I post lovely women in elegant.
You do. I enjoy that.
Yes, you do.
And I keep, and who complains the most? It's my fellow Muslims. Like, brother, this is very sinful. It's like looking at these pictures, brother. Do you think this is un-Islamic? But I cannot stop looking at these pictures. I'm like,
exactly.
Man.
I mean, I'm not a hypocrite.
I showed them to all of my friends. It's like,
oh my gosh.
I can't believe you posted these. I had to share them with all my friends.
Can you believe he's doing this?
God forbid.
No, I can't. It took me 20 minutes to look at all those pictures. I couldn't believe it.
He's a sinner. I'm like, oh, whatever.
Phyllis Mallory for $5. The assumption that a person of a particular political leaning is against other beliefs or ethnicities is ludicrous. That's so true, though. Like it's possible to hold a belief, hold it firmly, and to not and to look at another person who disagrees with you and not like hate that person or be against that person, right? You may not agree with specific belief, but that doesn't mean, like, this is going to be kind of a weird thing, and I'm not trying to turn this into like a religious discussion, but there's an interesting thing that Christians say on a regular basis, and that's hate the sinner, hate the sin, not the sinner, right? And that people seem to forget that that's something you can do, right? Not that you have to view something as sin, but you can hate a thing or disagree with a thing and not hate the person who holds that belief.
Exactly.
Beliefs are based on our life experiences, and that's it. I mean, just like religion is largely based on our life experiences and our family and our culture. Some of us choose our religions, a lot of us don't. And how can you fault somebody from having a point of view based on their life experience? Your point of view can contradict how they see the world because your life experience doesn't fit that. But you can't fault them for living what they've lived and made them see the world that way. Maybe experience more, it'll grow and change.
And to keep it within our purview of what we do here, like it's the same thing as saying, like, you know, certain people are like, well, I wouldn't watch this or that because so-and-so's in it and I just can't bring myself to terms with it, which is fair. Like certain situations I can understand, you know, if you can't watch Bill Cosby anymore, you can't watch Bill Cosby anymore. I can't fault you.
I can't fucking watch Amber Turd anymore. Fuck
there you go. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like there's certain things where times like that happens, you know, but like at the same time, why do we have to stop everybody else from enjoying those things if they do? And you got to stop and think, reverse that role. Be like, okay, how would you feel if, you know, fucking, Hugh Jackman coming knocking on your door one day? I'm sure you'd be excited, but what if he told you, like, look, mate, I don't like you and I don't like your views. I wish you wouldn't watch my movies no more.
See,
like people don't turn it around and think of it that way either. Like, I mean, it's like if somebody, I mean,
I had a boss who said that. I had a boss who posted on Twitter, you know, to somebody who they didn't like their politics. And when they said, I don't want you watching my show, I'm like, boss.
And we have kind of gotten that from some people.
And I don't know if that's a good idea to the customer's boss. I think we actually need them watching the show.
Exactly. And that's one thing I don't think that those who are actually doing that, which actually are doing that, really realize that, like Anita Sarkeesian's out there. You know what I mean? Like, if you don't like my politics, don't buy my book.
And if you don't like my politics, don't buy my book.
It's the same thing.
No way she says that.
I know.
It gets under my skin. Don't buy my book. Okay.
Did you buy her book? Did anybody buy her book?
No, hell no. Didn't nobody buy
Like,
it.
how did you find my address, Jackman? And Hugh Jackman would be like, look, mate, that's not important. What's important is I just want you to stop watching my movies. Even the greatest showman.
Wow.
That's a good movie. And everyone said to me it was a bad movie. And then the industry told me it's a bad movie. Everyone was like, oh, it's a crappy movie. I was like, this is a great movie. I just didn't understand the disconnect. I mean, everyone in the industry was like, oh, it's a terrible movie. I'm like, what are you talking about? It's a great movie. Whatever. More super chats.
Moving on. I'm sorry. If you got to check out Cameron, go right ahead. We don't want to keep you if you got stuff to do. So
I'm hanging out with the lovely ladies for a little bit longer.
I figured you would. And we have a couple super chats.
I don't got Twitter, so I don't got any more lovely ladies now.
He's just sitting up there like,
to get my
cock blocking, Tom.
No, he's acting like I gotta go. And then
I got nothing to do now. My Dubai calls, whatever.
I'm just going by the signals. I'm going to the back room. Y'all are on.
Thank you.
We have Baba Yogi for $2. Thank you so much. Heart, love ladies / Cameron, but the bald chick needs a wig.
Which one?
Bald chick just left.
That I was gonna. Well, Cameron's pretty bald. Like, but Tom's.
I think he meant Tom.
Okay. Well, I don't. Are we?
It's been 7 hours and 16 days since you've been gone. Come on, Sinead O'Connor. Nobody.
That chick
I was jamming to it. I was waiting for you to get to the nothing compares part.
Yeah.
Nothing compares.
There we go.
I hit that note. Nothing compares.
Yeah, thank you, Lorena. I can't do that. And then she says she can't fucking sing.
I don't think I can.
Can I actually jump in and answer a super chat that just appeared on the screen, but it's addressed to me? And because I actually do need to address what this gentleman saying. It's a gentleman named Christian Coralejo, I believe, and he's saying, Cameron, would it be okay for me to share some of my story ideas with you on Facebook for your professional opinion on which idea is most worth pursuing? You know, what I'll say is this: as a professional screenwriter, I can't be listening to everyone sharing me their ideas because I get.
I was about to say, get in line.
I get requests every day from about 4 or 5 people. So what I do have is a professional consulting service where if you have a screenplay or other things you need me to look at, I'm happy to be a consultant to you. There's a fee involved, and other people have taken advantage of that and usually gotten their money's worth. And wow, that actually helped them advance what they're doing. So if you want to reach out to me on Facebook, I can't just don't send me your stuff and say, what do you think? If you want to do a consulting arrangement, reach out to me and we'll work something out. And that's to anybody else that's out there. It's just, and also, the one thing all screenwriters say is the joke between all of us, and it's happened to every one of us. It's happened to me, is never tell anybody you're a screenwriter on the airplane. Like the guy sitting next to you, hey, what do you do? I'm a screenwriter. Because they'll say, hey man, I get this idea for a movie.
You're trapped.
Yeah, and then you have to listen to it for 2 hours. And they're like, all right, now you go write it for me, and we'll split it 50-50. With like a 2-sentence idea. Oh man, there's this asteroid that's gonna hit the planet, and they send up some guys to blow up the asteroid. They're
gonna drill a hole right in the middle of it.
I spent the next 2 years of my life writing the script, and then I come back and like, you're gonna get 50% of that, because you came up with 1 sentence. That's something happens to every single screenwriter. Don't do it to screenwriters. It is actually, you become the joke that we talk about, right? Because it actually takes away from the amount of work our craft is. Yeah. So yes, so that's what I'll say about that. Anyone who has stuff, you can reach out to me, but that's not, sharing ideas, sharing scripts like that. It's not necessarily appropriate.
Well, and appropriate's a good word for it, because even Script Doctor does consultations too, and it's totally legit. And there's good reason for it. There's even legal reason for it. Like, you're right. Like, because if you hear one of those airplane pitches or the famous, elevator pitches, it's called, and you go and you write a movie that's similar to that, all that person's got to do is, well, I met you on so-and-so, and then
I'm going to sue you for $100 million.
I'm going to sue you for $100 million, and it's going to turn into a big whole hooskow.
So don't send me your ideas. If you want a professional consulting thing, then there's money exchange, and you own your thing, and you can never claim, Cameron Pasha stole this from me, right? Whatever. So,
or if he does happen to do something just like that, then it protects you as well. That's the other side of it. And then, it's obviously then Cameron would have no incentive to go and do that, obviously, because it's on record that you guys.
And the thing is, what it is the unfortunate misunderstanding is, one thing, an idea has no value. If I pitch you right now, an asteroid is going to hit the planet, they send somebody up to blow it up, astronauts. There were 2 movies like that. There's Deep Impact and Armageddon within 3 weeks of each other, right?
Well, right. That's the other problem.
Now, what it is the crafted script and the process. I've had scripts that I've been trying to get made for 10 years, right? And so that's where the value comes from. Doesn't come from an idea. And you can't actually, you pitch to me asteroid hitting the planet, right? That's not, I can go make that movie, and you can't actually sue me for that, because it's just an idea. It's one. The value is in the script.
Yeah, you have a lot of problems there. There's like a lot of, it's in red lines. However you want to put it.
I just want to answer that because that I got that.
No, that's totally fair.
Before my Twitter was pulled. I get this every day.
I say you get that a lot. I know you do. Just about every time we're on a podcast together.
Yeah.
All right. So where were we in the super chats then? That was.
Who's next?
I think.
Because we jumped ahead there on that one. Where did we leave
Doyle Hargrave.
Okay.
No, we did that one.
Did we do that one?
We did that one.
Oh, the hot chicks name. Okay.
Yep, we did that one. Yep.
So we on the last one we read, I thought was Baba Yoga, but
yes,
we did. Yes. So we're on Shea Smith. Yep.
Yeah.
Good job, Mary.
Yay!
Alcohol hasn't killed all your brain cells yet. No.
I think it's right. Now, I started off with a few extras than most people. So, who are we on? I think are we on Laura?
Let's just say yes.
Okay, no, are we on Mandy? Because I
think we're on Mandy.
Yeah, I think it's me. Okay, Shea Smith for $25. Wow, thank you so much. Marvel made the same excuse when they had Peter Parker make a deal with the devil to end his marriage. Millions of fans that were dying to read Spider-Man, but couldn't because he was married.
What?
The fuck?
I'm not sure I understand the.
I don't get it.
So I guess people needed a single Spider-Man in the comic, or they couldn't read it.
I think he's being sarcastic, maybe.
Okay, I don't know what's going on. I don't know.
I think he's being sarcastic that they couldn't relate to it. Maybe that's.
I'm sorry. It went over our head.
Yeah, the last Spider-Man I had was when he got.
It probably made more sense in the moment when he sent it. And we try to get to the super chats when we can, guys. Sorry about that. Okay, next.
Laura?
All right, I'll go. Okay, so we are at Crispy Critter at $5. Some of these larger companies hire PI to maintain surveillance for their on their enemies. These include former FBI police and mercs. Yeah, don't ask how I know.
Well,
it's true. It's true.
I was going to say that's why what's his face who directed Die Hard spent a year in prison basically because of some of that kind of shit.
Well, and that's absolutely real. I'm talking about the level of of wealth and money, and power that's at stake here. Hiring a PI to go after your enemies is the least of what this town will do to you, right?
Right.
They'll send honeypots to you they'll send you a girl who's gonna pretend to like you and get you in bed, and they'll take pictures of that, right? I mean, this is old school spy stuff, right? This is because there's billions of dollars at stake in this industry.
Yeah, John McTiernan, that's who it was. Thank you, guys.
Yeah. Accidentally leaked nudes are the least of your problem.
Yeah. Having your brake lines is something that that's the person that's going to happen. So yeah.
And I wonder, I wish they'd still make Crispy Critter cereal. I really aged myself there, but anyway. Next up, we got Dash DC. I think it's how it's pronounced.
That's Laura.
No, I already went.
Oh, sorry.
Laura, did you change?
They're trying to get her to do every one of them.
Did you just change, Laura? That's a lovely new, colorful thing you're wearing.
I'm trying. Dash DC.
I think she put her hair up.
She put her hair up.
Yeah. She put her hair up.
So nice.
Yes.
Dash DC for Canadian $5 says maybe if like not so long ago respect was given and lost, not something you had to earn first. I feel like that probably made sense in the context of the discussion at the time that it was dropped. So I have no idea what that means right now in this moment. And I'm so sorry. I'm sorry for that. I wish that I could I guess respect given and lost, not something you had to earn first. Does that ring a bell for anyone where that might belong?
I think he was just trying to say, or she, was trying to say that basically like we used to respect each other regardless of our differences. Up front, we usually waited for their good. We didn't hate each other first. If we did, there was a reason generally.
We were working towards that anyway.
We were, yes. And I would say, there was a point, like definitely in the late 80s into the 90s. And like I was just talking about this the other night, like where it felt like in the latter part of the 90s into the early 2000s, we had really like shook off a lot of this PC crap. We're like, we really need to just calm down. And that's when we got like look at how our entertainment changed. Then things kind of went back to the, we don't give a shit so much about, the being so PC in the comedies and all that kind of stuff. And then of course this movement happened and it wasn't natural. It was completely fabricated. So that's the other thing that we keep trying to remind people. But yeah, I think that's what they were trying to say with that. Otherwise I'm hopefully didn't misread it.
Okay. Storyman Jack for $2. Thank you so much. Hail the most beautiful women on the web. And Tom.
And Tom.
Thank you.
What about Cameron?
Sweet.
Cameron's not a woman. We literally established this like 2 seconds ago.
I don't identify as such, and so it's all good.
Are you sure?
Are you telling me my subjective reality being a man?
No, I'm just making sure for sure what you are. There are 87 genders, sir or ma'am.
Oh my gosh.
Sir, ma'am.
Oh my God. Are there really?
You need people of intelligence on this sort of
That can't be right.
I should spend a week acting like a crazy SJW and just see how many people it drives nuts.
I mean, it's the mere concept of it is driving me nuts. So
see, that was only 5 seconds. Just imagine that for 5 days.
You have to do the
I think you would block everything.
You have to do the SJW voice like comics division though.
Like,
Tom.
Tully like getting in. No, it turned into like that. Like he doesn't.
He does it really nasally. It's hilarious.
I was on your team, but after day 5 of that, I'm gonna go with Mary and buy the laxative.
No, at least you would buy. See, at least Mandy loves me. See, she'd go with the laxative. That's
Yeah,
not gonna
make it
kill
chocolate.
me.
Right. It's just really gonna fuck up your night, right?
Exactly.
Make you some brownies or something
Maybe a
good.
day
treat
or so.
you.
but-
I
yeah,
empty the bottle and
be like, oh, she fucking got me. But those
Can,
brownies are
hold on. Can we
good.
not act for 2 seconds? Can we be real here and not act like enough laxatives will fuck your world up? Okay, like they will fuck your world.
I don't
up.
think Mandy would go overboard like you,
Well,
who
it
clearly
might
wants
help
to
out
kill me.
Bill Burr. Remember that photo of Bill Burr? That would have gotten him through that situation. He would have bring it all full circle.
All right, back to super chats.
Okay, Storyman Jack sent us $5 more, so thank you so
Yeah, he
much.
retracted his message. I don't know if he did or if it was Google per se, but yeah.
But we love you. Thank you.
Thank
you. All right, so I believe it's my turn again. So Christian Corlejo at $5. I heard from Clownfish TV that Twitter will soon implement a pay-to-tweet policy. Do you guys think that will happen or help weed out most of the toxic weirdos? That's been a rumor, even with Facebook for years.
I think
that
they're
we're gonna
already doing it, aren't they?
Well,
They're
I
already-
think it was. I don't think it was pay to tweet. What I think it was is you had to basically pay to see certain people's tweets.
It was think of it like a Patreon for Twitter.
Kind of.
Exactly.
So they're taking an
oh.
already safe space and making it even safer for the
Yeah.
snowflakes.
Right.
basically.
I missed that one. I missed that one.
And
So now
monetizing it at the
they
same
can-
People have
time.
no money, but these people, the safe space people, don't have any money.
Exactly.
Exactly. Well, they'll still get a couple. What it'll do is they can now do a absolutely disgusting tweet, but they can only allow people that are paying to see it. So, like normal people
Yeah.
won't then be able to say, "Hey, that's
There's a
messed
couple
up."
levels to this.
This is like a
I think-
BDSM shop, basically. You come in and I don't understand.
I think Mandy's right on one level. Like it is. It's like, like there's that level of it. Then the other level of it is to make it more difficult for YouTubers like us, because if you want to stay up to date with certain people, that means you're going to have to pay for all these fucking people to get the tweets that, everybody you're going to be reporting on. Then there's the other side of this, which is the safe space aspect, that they can control more of who's actually getting to comment on their tweets and see their tweets and stuff like that. And then, the other side, just monetizing it, just because, there's a lot of people on Twitter who feel like they probably should be able to monetize this shit. Like there was that South Park episode where like, where's my internet money? Like, I'm sure that's what these people are like. They're like, I'm an influencer. Where's my internet money?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, I ask that when I see these super chats. I'm like, I'm not getting these. This is like $25 super chat. Who the hell's getting that? It's not me.
Yeah, and then Adam Hewlett, it's funny you say this because I was going to finish that joke out with that. Where they're like, yeah, and then I just went and ate another brownie because they're so good. Man, these brownies are good. I'd be out of commission for like 3 days.
As I go and dump out all the like Pepto or anything that could even remotely help you during your
But
time.
they were so good. Yeah, like
like every fucking base.
they're
possible.
basically adding a padlock to the echo chamber. That was what I was saying on one.
Yeah.
aspect of it.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
God, isn't that fucking pathetic? I'm sorry. That's so
Well, and
fucking
Willie, who's always
pathetic.
a avid viewer of this, I think we'll highlight his real quick since I can bring it up on screen here. He says, I can only send one, frowny face. I'm broke. This is a good stream. The lovely ladies like Alora. By the way, beautiful women wearing glasses. Tom the cool, Cameron. Oh, he's saying Cameron's cool, not me.
Yes.
No, but like
Really?
Willie, you don't have to worry about that, man.
I've actually interacted with Willie.
Yeah.
He's a brilliant young writer who's doing some really interesting stuff in the animated world.
Yeah.
And so I'm wishing much success.
And I keep telling him, quit worrying about the super chat thing.
Yes,
Don't just say hey.
Yeah.
we're just glad you're here, dude. Don't worry about that.
We're gonna let you either way.
So speaking of super chats, where were we here on the Christian Corlejo, or did we get? Oh, we just read that
No,
one.
we're on Trace XL now, but I don't know whose turn it is.
Did you guys get Storyman Jack correct?
I
Yeah.
was gonna say, did we get Storyman Jack?
I don't think we
Oh,
did. But
I
he
don't
said,
think we did. I'm sorry.
No, we
I didn't
didn't.
say that one.
says Mr. Pasha gets his own. LOL. So there you go.
I'm not sure what I get, but I'll take it.
It was when you were, I think, talking about the ladies being here with the ladies earlier. Let's see. Or no, that was when you were talking about the harem. That's right.
Yeah.
The four wives.
Yes.
Four wives.
So that's where we are in the super chats.
All right, now we're down to Trace there.
Okay, I think is that me, Trace?
Yeah.
Trace XL for $5. That Ring at Epcot is the condos that go up over your scenic view, and you're promised they won't do that when you buy your new home. Yep. Yep. Why did I pay for this shit?
What is it, dude? Like what y'all said fireworks?
Yes, for the fireworks show, and they shoot fireworks and projections from it.
Why do you need a giant ass ring to do that? You pulled this shit off for years.
I just stick shit in a bottle, in an empty Coke bottle, dig a little hole in the ground.
You know what? They used to have these little things that they would just push out there, in the water, and they were these little globes that just kind of sat there when it was time for the show, and then they did the show at night, and then they put the little globes back, and the lagoon looked all nice and everything. You could take pictures and all that. Now they got this ugly crap up there.
I don't like it.
It's horrible.
It's ugly. I don't like it.
No sane person does like it. It's disgusting looking. It's like the Stargate comparison is completely reasonable, right? You're at Epcot, not fucking Galaxy's Edge.
Going off world.
And again, with my occult beliefs about Hollywood, Stargate leading to another dimension, a dark dimension. There's deeper meanings to that because that's a very specific and strange design that evokes a very specific.
Why is it necessary? Is my big question. Like like you said, it's a very specific. Like I don't subscribe to like the conspiracy theories or whatever. Like I tend to, and I'm not saying I'm judging anybody who does. That's just not my bag, right?
You just spend some water, you will subscribe to all kinds of stuff.
But like I will note how fucking weird this shit is. Like, why the fuck is it that design? Why the fuck is it like, how is that necessary?
It's not. And you know what? It's lazy engineering, because if you had any smarts and you were going to design that, you would take in the aesthetic of the whole place. And they didn't. They're just throw this thing up here. We don't care.
All I can say is I've had people tell me in projects, you got to make sure we have that stuff, those symbols from Kabbalistic magic in that scene. So it is what it is. There's a whole other layer of this town that is beyond rational understanding, and millions of dollars goes into it.
Well, Shay Smith, you did not have to send such a huge super chat.
Oh my goodness!
I'm not getting $1.
Wow! Dang!
Goodness. Says, I apologize for not being clear. Kennedy at Lucasfilm trying to hide her power grab by saying that they need to get rid of the Favreau faction in order to bring in millions of new woke fans that don't exist. Marvel made the same lame excuses. That's exactly what I was saying earlier, Shay. That's the excuse or the fake snake oil they're trying to sell the upper people at these companies, not just Disney, but everywhere. Like that, like you just said, they started at Marvel. That was the same thing with Captain Marvel. Prime example. They tried to pretend like, the critical ones didn't exist. They were just bots. Remember, but yet there was empty theaters.
No,
and then the empty theaters as well. Yeah.
Yeah, like it was really bizarre how they tried to act like it wasn't real. It didn't exist. Like, it's so fucking crazy.
And they can't even hide that they lost half the audience with Star Wars. I mean, and then that's even not even bringing up the fact that Solo bombed. I mean, I don't even have to bring that back up.
Hashtag Solo lost money.
Yeah, that's just a little one in the pocket, right? Like, that's just one to have in the back pocket in case they want to get cocky. It's like, look at the numbers. They lost half their fucking audience. The $2 billion it was that the first Force Awakens made, it was down to a 1.05 billion or whatever it was for The Rise of Skywalker. That's half your fucking audience right there, gone.
And what's so sad about that is that they were the first Star Wars movie in the franchise to have dropped significantly within 2 weeks. Breaking that record. And a bad record to break too.
Yeah, well, then and then you bring up the Solo film, which was a complete non-starter. I mean, like, it only made like $200 million. It was horrible.
But see, this explains why Miss Kennedy has gotten deranged over Mandalorian and Gina Carano. It's literally deranged at this point. Like, you're talking about, the behavior is not rational. It's become almost like, not almost, it's a mental pathology at this point. Because for the last several years, she's been putting off there's just no market for this stuff, man. The Star Wars, I did the best I could. The fact is the audience isn't there for it. So let's just move on. Let me finish out my contract. And then Jon Favreau shows up and he goes back to old school Star Wars, and there's an audience for that. And there's toys are selling again. Everything she had told the investors for 5 years was not true. And one Joker shows up and immediately changes the economics of it, right? It literally pushed her over into a kind of pathological revenge fantasy because the story she's told herself has fallen apart.
Right. It's almost that lie where you keep telling yourself the lie to the point where you believe it yourself.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, exactly. It's like, oh no, people didn't like Rey because they're, misogynist, and she was it was a horrible character, and everybody loved Gina, and she can't stand it because
Absolutely.
that totally just smited her little bullshit excuse.
They had one fucking thing going for Rey, and that was her freaking parentage, and they botched that shit.
They botched they did not do one
you know why they botched
intelligent thing in that entire.
Do you know why they botched it? Because that entire stupid Last Jedi movie is written for what they think the young woke audience is, right? And so they said these kids don't have parents; they have screwed up loser parents, right? That's what they have. They don't identify with their parents; they feel lost. Let's give them a heroine that has screwed up parents that dropped her off somewhere for drinking money because their parents are off addicted to meth, right? That's what they thought the audience was, rather than the audience wanting something to, even if they were from broken families. A lot of us that watched Star Wars in the 70s, the 80s were from difficult situations, and that gave us our hope.
Right.
Really bizarre.
Right.
That's the last thing you want to be reminded about when you're seeing Star
Why
Wars.
would you be reminded of that?
That would be like if Darth Vader said, "I am your father, and I went out for cigarettes, and I'm sorry I never came home."
Right? Why would they do that?
I regret.
But you see, that's the whole pathology of this woke thing, which is that the idea is instead of inspiring human beings to be better, it is pathologizing your bad situation and making that your identity. Right? We all have bad situations. Lorena, we've talked about this. Malcolm X is one of my favorite movies, and it shows he had a really bad situation throughout his childhood, through his life.
Yes.
It brought him to a bad place, and then he transcended it.
Mm-hmm.
That's the magic of the film. Is you see this guy that should have just been a prisoner for the rest of his life, a petty criminal who was angry at God and the world, and then he changed, and he changed the world. That's the story they don't want to tell.
I have no idea where we're at.
I know where we are.
We are Abu Nas.
Okay, so
okay.
El Presidente himself.
Yes.
Who's next on the?
I went last.
Okay, so it's Lorena, I believe, next, right?
So Abu Nas for $10. Thank you so much. Been lurking in the chat the whole time. Sending my love to you, beautiful ladies, and salute to my bro Cameron. Now you're the true alpha surrounded by the best. Rock on. This is a great stream. Thank you.
Absolutely.
All I can say is I'm flirting with the ladies, but when we shut the cameras off, they're thinking about you. And that's nobody more alpha, on YouTube itself or anywhere that I've ever encountered than a dude who can make up an entire rap on the spot that's really good, right? They don't get more alpha.
Right?
I've been trying to talk him into producing an album for a while.
That would be so cool. Oh my gosh. I would buy it. I'll bet you make an album. I will buy it.
I think Abu even gave me one of my black cards for my rap that one night on Shenanigans, if I remember right.
What rap did you do?
I went full diva.
What'd you?
It was his own thing. Like it wasn't like a.
Oh, you went all like Mariah.
No, well, not exactly. Rob and I wrote it. He did the music for it, and I did the rap.
How cool is that? That's awesome.
Man, Mary seemed to like it.
It was good. It was very good. I was impressed.
But
I
yes,
think you're on Larry there, Mandy.
Larry.
Larry for $2. Thank you so much, Larry. Great show, Thomas and Sharp ladies. You bring it. Thank you.
Thank you.
And then we have one that's from Trace XL, and he retracted the message, but it's $10. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you, Tracy. You're amazing. We appreciate
Yeah,
it.
again, I don't know if we retracted it or it was YouTube, but yeah.
Yeah, it's retracted. So, but thank you so much for the super chat.
Yeah.
Cowan Friends for $10 says, look at all of these lovely ladies. Oh my God, Cameron Pasha, dude, holy crap. I just want to say 50 Cent blood on the sand is a guilty pleasure of mine. Oh, and hey, Tom, also, fuck cancel culture.
Hey.
So
Thank
50
you.
Cent on the
The
Sand is a
support.
video game that I've written. If anyone doesn't want to know, it's actually a fun game, even though I've never played it, even though I wrote it. So. And 50 Cent got all the money from that game. So
Oh my gosh.
there's like it sold like 3 million units. I'm like, do I get like $1 unit? They're like, no, you don't. I'm like,
Oh, that's a bummer.
Dude.
That's unfortunate.
Right.
I'll play 50 Cent. He made like
I'd have took 50 cent. I would have took 50 cent a unit.
Oh, you would have 50 cent for 50 cent.
Hell yeah.
Right?
Be like, I don't want none of this half bullshit either. I want 50 cents.
I understand that joke now. Okay, here we go.
Okay.
Where were we?
I think it's
We're on
me. Lucy for $5. Thank you so very much for the support. As a former Disney college programmer, I miss what Disney used to be. I'm glad we have peeps like y'all who call things as they are. Bless y'all. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it does no service to sugarcoat things when it comes to Disney. They're not what they used to be.
Unless it's a flake or a cookie, I don't want it sugar coated.
Yeah.
You're on Mr. Tickle Trunk there, Mandy.
Mr. Tickle Trunk.
Mr. Tickle Trunk for $2 Canadian. Thank you so much. This super chat is just to see when you get to it. But now at this point, it's when it happens.
Yeah. That got posted almost 2 hours ago.
Oh,
Yes, it did.
Yeah.
All right, so we're moving on. Servant of God 777. Oh, nice numbers for Servant of God. That's traditional numbers for us. All right, so $5 super chat. Remember, people, Iger's not happy, and Chapek was nicknamed Cheapskate after all.
For good damn reason.
Cheapek.
That's why the events that are about to happen are not going to play out the way that Miss Kennedy and the Flying Monkeys thought they will. They're dealing with people that are now desperate.
Flying monkey.
I have to
yeah.
I have to correct myself. Yes, donuts, powdered. I need a powdered donut right
Donuts.
Servant of God 777 for $5. Cameron, as a Christian, I've seen this play out a lot. You have as well, I bet. God gives goose like the woke just enough rope. Love you, man.
God bless. I agree with you. I 100% agree with you. They're being given their rope and they're about to hang themselves. It's coming.
Yeah,
Absolutely. And then
I think this one,
we got that one. So yeah, Matt G's next, and we're almost caught up.
All right. So Matt G for $5. Thank you so much.
Miss Christian Crowley-Hill.
No, we read that one live.
Yeah,
Oh,
Read it live.
Yeah.
Mandy, do you want to switch?
Yeah, this one's for Mandy. I think.
Matt
We
G?
have
Good.
Matt G for $5. Thank you so much, Love Bug. Like, oh my God, Mandy, I didn't know you were from the South. I love Argentina. Like, what?
Well,
Thank you.
all of my Argentine friends are in denial that they're in South America. They're all Europeans on basically who are just visiting the country.
I just
Right?
really
None of them will admit that they're
That is nuts. Oh, Terminus EST for $5. Thank you so much. Tom, I wanted to say this on Mead on Saturday, but looks like there's going to be a bunch of flying kittens coming out of Catwoman's.
That would have almost been perfectly timed if we would have got to that news too. But yeah, no, like we'll talk about that next time. But yeah, I think Catwoman might have kittens. Who knows?
Yes. All right, so Jason. All right, Jason Blinkeron. Sorry, that. So what is that? That's pounds or euros?
It's pounds.
Pounds. Okay, pounds. $2.99 pound per character stretching. Oh yeah, pair character. Okay, this is a super sticker. Pair character stretching his arms forward, raising his thumbs up. So he's a pair character giving us a thumbs up. Thank you so much for the super sticker.
I give a thumbs up to Robert Pattinson for knocking up the Catwoman. That is so awesome.
Your Muslim uncle for 99 cents sends us a red rose. Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, man, there's only
How
one
sweet.
producer on this chat, man. I don't know.
Cameron doesn't want anybody muscling in on his harem.
That was a good one.
How we handle people moving in on our women. You know this. Okay.
Will you paint me like one of your French girls?
You can't be one, Tom, because he can only have 4.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Mandy, I'm gonna kick this one over to you.
Okay, yeah, gotcha. Matt G for $5. Thank you so much. Oh my God, Mandy. That La Regina Cola's Florida streams are awesome. I love New York. Yes, there is a town called Florida in New York. Like, what? Is it real?
I didn't know that, really.
That's great. Thank you, Matt.
Oh, Thunderstorm for $4.99. Thank you so much. Solo lost me with a train. When you can land a ship anytime, where
Right?
Well, and I brought the same thing up with that Mandalorian episode. As much as I love Bill Burr in it, that episode is kind of dumb with the idea. It's the same thing. It's like you have spaceships, like you have other ways. Oh, for fuck's sake. Anyway, Silver Nova was sending one more super chat here. Says, thanks for going against the grain, ladies, Tom and Cameron. We can return to the days of free expression if we don't back down. And then, of course, Caffeinated Wolf had to remind you that, sorry, Cameron, I don't share. Like, it's a joke, dude. Get over it. Seriously.
I think he's probably joking too, Tom.
I hope so, but it's like, Jesus, man, you can't be that jealous. Grow up a little bit. Servant of God says, last thing, you ladies rock, and Cameron, you are lucky, bro. Love you guys.
Thank you.
Obviously, it's not like, obviously Cameron's joking, so.
Everything I say is
calm down. Yes. So anyway, with that, I want to thank all of you so very much. There was over 700 of you guys hanging out at one point. That's amazing. There's still over 500 of you, almost 600 of you still here. If you haven't hit that like button, show the ladies some love. Hit that like button right now, and that will let you know that they are doing a good job. And I want to tell them they're always doing a good job. Take care, everybody, and we will catch you on the next stream. Bye-bye.
Bye, you guys.